Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to everyone. My name is Muhammad Yusri bin Haji Yunus, and I will be the MC for today. Welcome all of you to day 15 of Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Student Workshops 2021. The workshop, which commenced on the 15th November to 19th November 2021, has the intention to create awareness among students on the importance of recording architectural heritage through detailed inventory. For the past 2 weeks, participants of Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Students Workshop has involved in several events prepared for the workshop, such as webinars, site works, research and data collections works, including interviews, discussions, and interim progress presentations. For today, we shall have several more events which have been prepared for the workshop. This morning, we will have a webinar with an invited speaker from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. and followed by the presentation of Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. To continue with the workshop's event for today, I would like to invite and welcome Dr. Nur Hayati Hussein, Project Leader, Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Student Workshop, and Dr. Muhammad Jaki bin Mamat, the guest speaker for today. Dr. Nur Hayati will be the moderator, while Dr. Muhammad Jaki will be sharing the session entitled Bangunan Warisan Satu Apresiasi. Please welcome Dr. Nur Hayati and Dr. Muhammad Jaki.
Thank you, Cik Yusri. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to everyone. Welcome to the third sharing of Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Student Workshop 2021. My name is Nur Hayati, and I will be the moderator for this sharing session. Today, we'll be having a presentation from another speaker on architectural heritage. But before we get to that, I would like to take a few minutes of your time to introduce the speaker. Our speaker today, Dr. Muhammad Jaki Mamat, is a lecturer in Interior Architecture Program at the School of Housing, Building and Planning, University Science Malaysia, USM, Penang. He obtained his bachelor's degree from the University Science Malaysia, majoring in interior design. He later completed his master's at University Tun Hussein Batu Pahat, Johor. In 2014, he received his PhD from USM in building conservation. His research interests include urban heritage, heritage architecture, and building conservation. He has been active researcher as well as consultant at the national and international level. He also involved in many conservation projects of heritage buildings as conservator as well as technical advisor. It is our pleasure to have Dr. Jaki with us today. So now, moving along to our session, please welcome Dr. Muhammad Jaki Mamat, who is speaking to us on the heritage building in Perak, a local appreciation. Dr. Muhammad Jaki, the screen is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Thank you for Persatuan Arkitek Malaysia, PAM, and Polytechnic Nkrumah and other members of organizer to inviting me for the topic today regarding the appreciation on the heritage place. I will do my presentation in Bahasa because my presentation slide is also Bahasa. So let me share first the slide. Hopefully I have no problem with the Zoom, which is I'm not very familiar. Okay. And then hold on. Can you see the slide? Nampak?
Yes.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. First of all, tajuk ni memang based on my research several years ago, but I've never shared to the I never have opportunity to present to the Ipoh, I have a presentation during my visit to Prince Songkla University in Patani. So they request me to present in Bahasa because they using Bahasa as a medium in this university. So that is why the slide I'll do in Bahasa. So I will share the same slide, but they most likely amend and update. Okay, so bangunan warisan negeri Perak, satu apresiasi setempat. Maksudnya macam mana kita menghargai bangunan warisan atau kawasan warisan untuk kita rasa bangga, untuk kita rasa menerima, kita terima, kita accept bangunan warisan dalam kehidupan kita. Dia ada 4 step, okay, ada 4 perkara untuk kita jadikan bangunan warisan sebahagian dari hidup kita, which is bangunan warisan sebagai identiti. Kita kena anggap dulu bangunan warisan sebagai identiti kita sendiri. Okay, our own identity, a place identity that belong to us. Okay, kemudian kawasan warisan dia juga kita kena anggap sebagai boleh berupaya memperkasa budaya setempat. To empower, to strengthen the local culture, okay, the culture of the place. Okay, kemudian kawasan atau bangunan warisan dia juga memperkasa masyarakat yang berada bersamanya, bersama kawasan tu, di dalam kawasan warisan tu sendiri. Dan terakhir, kawasan warisan atau bangunan warisan boleh mencetus rasa kepunyaan, sense of belonging, sense of place. Okay, pertama sekali kita lihat bagaimana bangunan warisan sepatutnya diangkat sebagai identiti setempat. Contohnya, bangunan warisan ini dia adalah fizikal yang jelas, tapak begitu juga fizikal yang jelas, dan dia sepatutnya diangkat sebagai identiti atau image atau brand, okay, branding of the place, ikon setempat ataupun kawasan. Jadi identiti, image, jenama, ikon ni dia menyebabkan berlakunya penerimaan elemen warisan sebagai identiti, seterusnya mencetus rasa bangga dan prihatin ke atas aset warisan. Kalau local community they start feeling proud of their own heritage building atau heritage area, dia akan mencetus rasa prihatin, rasa nak ambil tahu, nak ambil berat. So sebab itulah pentingnya kawasan atau bangunan warisan dia sebagai identiti setempat. Kita rasa bangga kalau kita lihat bangunan warisan di tempat kita tu diangkat menjadi ikon kawasan. Contohnya kalau saya bagi contoh lah, kalau kita jadikan jenama bandar contohnya, Ipoh satu masa dulu pernah angkat Bougainvillea City, jenama dia branding jenama bandar dia sebagai bandar Bougainvillea, bunga Bougainvillea. Padahal Ipoh ada 2,000 bangunan warisan. Masa tu tak pernah terfikir untuk angkat bangunan warisan sebagai identiti bandar. Hari ini lain lah. Hari ini awareness sudah meningkat, jadi semua orang dari pihak masyarakat dan juga pentadbir kawasan, mereka banggalah untuk mengangkat elemen warisan sebagai identiti mereka, ikon mereka. So satu pengembangan yang baik. Seterusnya, identiti mencetus berbagai potensi. Bila identiti itu dah menjelma ataupun diterima oleh semua orang, daripada masyarakat bawahan sampai ke pihak pentadbiran, daripada pelabur kepada peniaga, kepada pengguna, kepada pelawat, pelancong dan sebagainya. So identiti itu dia boleh mencetus macam-macam prospek sosial dan ekonomi. Antaranya of course lah pelancongan. Kita boleh lihat kalau tengok laporan pelancongan paling utama adalah pelancongan budaya, berteraskan budaya. Warisan adalah salah satu cabang budaya. Jadi ikon sebenarnya membantu mempromosi kawasan untuk dalam sektor pelancongan terutamanya. Perniagaan dan perkhidmatan. Sebab pelancongan ni dia sangat-sangat pentinglah untuk kawasan warisan. Kalau kita lihat Vegan City di Filipina, selepas dia dapat World Heritage Site, pendapatan tahunan dia meningkat sehingga 600%. Kalau kita lihat Melaka contohnya, daripada 200,000 pelancong datang setahun sampai ke 1.4 juta, saya tak ingat, selepas dapat oleh Rekesat. So perkembangan kedatangan pelancong dalam jumlah yang besar tu dia memberi impak pada semua, daripada makcik yang jual goreng pisang di tepi jalan sampailah ke hotel bertaraf banyak bintang kan. So pelancongan tu sangat penting. Jadi kita kena pastikan yang bangunan warisan dia menjadi identiti kawasan sebelum kita nak jadikan bangunan warisan sebagai tools untuk menarik faktor untuk menarik pelancong, untuk dijadikan sebagai agenda pelancongan. Jadi bangunan warisan untuk mencapai identiti tertentu, untuk menjadi identiti kawasan, pemeliharaan sangat penting lah. Kalau kita biarkan dia image dia macam bangunan yang buruk, rosak dan sebagainya, tak selamat dan sebagainya. So image tu, jenama, identiti tidak boleh diangkat sebagai faktor untuk menggalakkan pelancongan. Ini salah satu contoh lagi. Kalau kita lihatlah bangunan warisan di negeri Perak ni sangat banyak. Okay, tajuk saya pun satu bangunan warisan Perak, apresiasi tempat ni, maksudnya saya banyak fokus pada negeri Perak lah. Tak ada contoh dari negeri lain. Supaya saya nak memperkenalkan juga pada pihak pendengar, orang yang mendengar, Perak mempunyai banyak sangat ikon bangunan warisan. Kalau kita tengok senarai inventory yang tak formal, okay, tak formal, selepas Pulau Pinang, Perak memiliki bangunan warisan terbanyak di Malaysia lah. Okay, berbanding Melaka yang dah pun dapat bandar warisan dunia UNESCO. Di Ipoh saja yang saya buat inventory tak rasmi, lebih kurang 1,800 hingga 2,000 buah bangunan. Jadi usaha PAM untuk buat inventory ni sangat baguslah. Ada inventory yang dah dibuat tetapi oleh pelbagai entiti, tetapi orang ni buat sini sikit, orang ni buat sana sikit. Jadi ya, kita perlu ramai orang buat lah. Sebenarnya kita perlu ramai orang buat. Dan bila kita buat, kita jangan simpan dalam file, dalam store. Apa yang PAM buat, you all jadikan dia dalam sebagai bentuk website yang semua orang boleh access, boleh penetrate, tengok dan visit. Masa Cik Yusri kontak saya untuk program kita ni kan, inventory, saya dah beritahu pada Cik Yusri, patutnya lama dah buat. Tapi yalah, kesempatan tu tak semua ada kesempatan pada ketika itu. Tapi alhamdulillah kita dah start pun. So thank you, dan kita boleh promote lah bangunan warisan yang ada di Perak. Contohnya kita tengok Istana Kenangan Kuala Kangsar, Stesen Kereta Api Ipoh, semua antara ikon yang penting lah. Menara Condong, Teluk Intan, kan? Saint Michael dekat Ipoh, Kota Belanda di Pulau Pangkor. Banyak lagi, kita ada banyak sebenarnya, kita ada banyak. Bila dah Ipoh saja ada 2,000, maksudnya dalam negeri Perak saya tahu ada berapa. Okay, lagi banyak lah. Pejabat tanah daerah di Taiping, Victoria Bridge di Kuala Kangsar, Masjid Ubudiah Kuala Kangsar, Masjid Ubudiah yang kedua di Lenggong, Perak. Nama sama tapi rupa tak sama lah. Kelly Castle di Batu Gajah, Pasar Taiping. Okay, tapi seperti yang saya sebut tadi, bangunan warisan yang sepatutnya jadi image identiti kawasan ataupun setempat, kadang-kadang dia terjejas. Okay, terjejas sebab kurangnya keprihatinan kurangnya sebab tekanan pembangunan mungkin, kurang pengetahuan mungkin, dan macam-macam lah. Okay, macam-macam sebab dan faktor yang menjejas identiti dan image bangunan ataupun kawasan warisan. Antaranya Hilo Bridge, kalau kita perasan, boleh tengoklah Hilo Bridge ni di Jalan Sultan Iskandar. Jalan Sultan Iskandar, itu masuk dalam kawasan inventory juga ni. Asalnya inilah dia punya jabatan, tapi hari ini dah jadi macam ni. Dah jadi macam ni. Benda macam mana? Alasan sebab jabatan tu dah tak selamat. Jadi ambil jalan pintas lah, roboh buat baru, apa cerita, senang. Kan? No comment. Tapi sebenarnya dalam konsep conservation kan kita ada method macam-macam untuk kita reconstruct, kita rehab dan sebagainya, restore. So there are so many methods that we can do to retain the original design, instead of kita just demolish and then build a new one with totally different identity, different image, which is dah exist almost 200 years, 100 years over kan. So tapi sekarang dah hilang. Pasar Ipoh pun dah hilang. Pasar Ipoh pun dah hilang. Hari ni ditukar kepada UTC. Kita nampaklah pasar Ipoh ni. Pasar Ipoh ni dia unik lah. Bukan pasar Ipoh lah. Pasar market design in Perak, dia ada typical design throughout the state. Kita tengok semua pasar, design reka bentuk pasar mempunyai karakter yang lebih kurang sama. Jet roof, linear plan, okay, and then timber, ada lattice, ada ram lattice, ada banyak, dia punya karakter lebih kurang sama, timber building and so on. So pasar Ipoh macam ni, pasar Bagan Datuk macam ni, dan dah hilang. Kalau kita lihat tadi, pasar Taiping yang masih lagi ada, masih lagi remain. Sekarang pasar Taiping under conservation. Okay, saya pun involved dalam this project as a conservator. Actually, I'm assistant conservator to this project. With the conservator project is Professor Ghaffar. So now under conservation lah, alhamdulillah lah, sebab conserve well kan, dia ada proper conservation. So insyaAllah dia akan dapat bertahan lah, jangka hayat dia akan panjang lah. Compared to these two building and many buildings actually, every district have this kind of pasar, tapi so far yang saya tahu very few yang remain as what it was lah. Okay, tapi yang selebihnya banyak roboh lah. Saya cuma letak few sajalah, antaranya di Ipoh dan Bagan Datuk dah roboh dah pun. Ni Bazar Bulat ni dulu sangat famous di Ipoh ni pun dah roboh. Kalau kita tengok di kawasan Pekanbaru, sekarang ni ada bangunan yang bernama Octagon. Okay, so dah digantilah tapak ni. So dia jadi dulu adalah heart of the city activities lah in Ipoh. Dulu sangat terkenal lah di kalangan orang Ipoh, tempat pusat membeli belah dan sebagainya. Ada stesen bas, stesen taksi dan sebagainya. Tapi sayangnya dia dah dirobohkan lah untuk to allow new development lah. Okay. Dan ni Menara Jam di Lumut. Saya cuma letak sebahagian saja kecil. Sebenarnya banyak lagi bangunan warisan yang dah dirobohkan. Okay, yang dah dirobohkan. Alma Baker Batu Gajah, cantik bangunan ni, dah dipindah ke Terengganu buat resort. Okay. Majestic Cinema, dulu jalan dekat Pekanbaru ada satu jalan namanya Cinema Street, ada 7 ataupun 8 cinema. Sekarang semua dah dirobohkan ataupun sedang convert menjadi kedai perabot lah dan sebagainya. So yalah, tu macam mana bangunan warisan tak boleh survive lah, because the acceptance as an identity and image di kalangan everyone lah, local, investor, peniaga, pentadbir, okay, pentadbir kawasan and so on. So kita tengoklah bagaimana image terjejas. Ada juga yang terjejas secara indirectly, bukan roboh tu kita cakap image terjejas. Kadang-kadang renovation, perubahan-perubahan yang kita nak bagi, kita memberi alasan, kita memberi nafas baru lah, okay, to refresh the looks, the appearance of the building, and then we, without proper knowledge, we just do whatever we think is better for current style and needs. Okay, so for example bangunan public bank ni dibalut dengan cladding, habis terus hilang terus dia punya karakter ni, art deco dan sebagainya, postmodern dan sebagainya. So hilanglah dia punya karakter tu. So ada yang bangunan yang dicat, kalau signage yang cover the whole fasad tu, itu memang penyakit yang semua tempat lah berlaku, bukan di Ipoh sajalah. So banyak tempat berlaku macam ni. So harap pentadbiran ketepatan tu setempat dia boleh buat enforcement, better enforcement lah, to disallow this kind of signage depan fasad. Ada setengah yang dicat dengan warna yang tak sepatutnya lah kalau macam ni ya. Kalau tengok ditukarnya door, folding door, dan diwarnakan dengan warna striking yang bukan melalui analisa warna asal. Patutnya kalau nak at least buat analisa warna asal ataupun warna putih should be okay. So as long as breathable paint lah. Okay, tapi macam kita boleh tengoklah signage, macam mana renovation, kadang dia buat extension dan sebagainya. yang terjejas. Ini di Jalan Star Grace pun under kita punya kawasan inventory juga. Ini di Taman Jubilee. Okay, this one also under kawasan inventory kita juga. Okay, and then this one Villa Fong Siong di Jalan Laksmana also same. This one Gallery Avenue Baki. I heard MBI ada interest untuk repair ataupun conserve this building. Hopefully jadilah. Hopefully jadilah. Okay, move to second. Second one is kawasan ataupun bangunan warisan memperkasa budaya setempat. Sepatutnya bangunan warisan dia empower the culture of the place. Okay, budaya dan cara hidup lalu telah terputus sebab apa? Sebab apa dia terputus? Sebab dulu let's say Ipoh dia bukan let's say Ipoh memang menjadi pusat pengurusan biji timah satu ketika dulu, tapi bila harga timah jatuh, bisnes yang berteraskan timah pun merudum atau terjejas, jadi berlaku penghijrahan keluar beramai-ramai, keluar untuk cuba di tempat baru, berniaga di tempat baru. Jadi budaya dan cara hidup lalu dah terputus. Hari ini yang menggunakan Ipoh tu less than 20-30% dia continuity from the generations. Yang lainnya dia adalah pengguna baru, peniaga baru, penduduk baru, pelawat baru, semuanya barulah. Jadi sebab tu budaya dan cara hidup yang dulu tu dah terputus dah. Jadi cara yang kita, macam mana kita nak ikat balik? Ikat balik adalah melalui pemeliharaan lah. Kalau kita preserve, kita conserve well, kita angkat bangunan warisan tu, kita jaga elok, kita sebenarnya menyambungkan balik budaya ataupun cara hidup, budaya cara hidup lalu kepada hari ini. Sekurang-kurangnya melalui bangunan ataupun kawasan. Mungkin kita susah nak pelihara beberapa perkara yang berkaitan dengan intangible heritage, tapi tangible heritage is there, depan mata. Okay, so kalau kita proper conserve, continuity tu boleh kita, budaya hidup lalu tu kita boleh sambung semula sebab bangunan ni dia bersama dengan story dia, historical background dia. Okay, something behind yang kita tak tahu. Tapi kalau kita preserve that buildings, kita ada opportunity to bring back the existing culture and so on. Okay, hari ini masyarakat baru yang dibendami dan menggunakan kawasan tidak mampu memahami nilai, okay, seperti ilmu aspirasi yang ditingkatkan oleh generasi baru. So kalau kita preserve, kita conserve, kita boleh bring back this one. Tidak wujud kebergantungan ke atas warisan, aset warisan untuk berbagai tujuan. So bila terputus, generasi hari ini tidak merasakan mereka bergantung kepada kawasan atau bangunan warisan. Okay, so maka bangunan warisan perlu melambangkan budaya tempatan, menggambarkan ilmu dan knowledge and wisdom yang dulu, okay, dan sesuai hingga ke generasi hari ini. Okay, contohnya Perak Chinese Amateur Dramatic. Dulu kita tahulah kawasan ni jalan ni dekat area, saya lupa nama jalan, Jalan Mustafa Bakri, tapi Jalan Mustafa Bakri nama di hari ini, dulu nama lain. Okay, kita yang putuskan. Salah satu agenda menukar nama jalan itu adalah salah satu efek kita memutuskan sejarah dulu dengan hari inilah. Bila kita tukar nama aja, kita sedang memutuskan hubungan sejarah tu sendiri. So teknik untuk menukar nama jalan tu sebenarnya bukan teknik yang baik lah. Tapi pihak pentadbir ada reason lain kan yang kita pun tak pasti, ada reason lain, tak apalah. Cuma di mana-mana tempat lah, kawasan warisan seluruh dunia, dia orang tak tukar nama jalan. Okay, jalan tak tukar nama jalan sebab bila tukar nama jalan, kita tukar story sebenarnya. Kita tukar cerita. Okay, tukar cerita berarti kita tukar sejarah. Okay, kita sendiri yang tukar. So, kita sendiri yang memutuskan hubungan sejarah tu dengan generasi hari ini. Tapi tak apa. Ini salah satu contoh lah. Okay. Kampung Gucai dulu, kawasan kampung tradisional Melayu pun dah habis. Dulu Kampung Gucai ni banyak rumah-rumah tokoh yang besar dan sebagainya. Ini Galeri Avenue Baki. Ni gambar ni masih cantik. Yang tak cantik tu masa gambar yang slide pertama tadi tu. Okay, dulu cantik lah. Dia pakai dinding kelarai, buat beda buluh. dulu kawasan sekolah, sekarang dah jadi galeri, kemudian tutup. Bukan sekarang lah, kemudian jadi galeri, lepas hari ni tutup lah sebab rosak, tak guna, tak ada proper maintenance. Okay, Pasar Taiping menjadi nadi utama Bandar Taiping sejak dulu hingga kini. So tengok macam mana Pasar Taiping 1-3 dulu, dia menjadi nadi utama Bandar Taiping. So hari ini dia ada usaha untuk conserve secara elok, secara baik. Berarti kita mengekalkan, menyambung nadi itu dari dulu sampai sekarang dan untuk generasi yang akan datang. So kalau kita proper conserve, kita sebenarnya menyambungkan. Tapi kalau kita tinggalkan dilapidated, kita tinggalkan rosak, tukar nama jalan, tukar nama bangunan, tukar fungsi, tukar sebagainya, kita memutuskan sejarah tu. Apa yang dibuat oleh Taiping contohnya tidak memutuskan, dia membawa sampai ke generasi yang akan datang. Okay. Rumah tradisional Melayu Perak, kita boleh tengoklah, Perak kita kenal dengan rumah tradisional Melayu lah. Ada dua jenis rumah Melayu tradisional Perak, iaitu rumah Perak ataupun kita panggil rumah bumbung Perak, satu lagi rumah kutai lah. So kalau kita kekalkan, so sejarah tu kekal lah. Kalau kita tiba-tiba demolish sebab kita rasa tak sesuai dengan kehidupan hari ini, berarti kita roboh dan tiada lagi lah usaha memperkasakan budaya setempat tu. Imagine semua rumah kampung dah jadi rumah moden, kampung tak ada value, tak ada culture tradisional lagi lah. Dia cuma ada new culture, new value. Okay. Ya, which is kita pun tak tahu adakah sesuai ataupun tidak. Okay, rumah-rumah kedai di Perak, kita boleh tengoklah pelbagai jenis rumah kedai. Semua ni melambangkan design ataupun karakter ataupun budaya, sebab rumah kedai dia ada story dia, aktiviti masyarakat ketika itu. Kalau tak digunakan lagi, berarti aktiviti tak ada lah. Okay, kalau kita bawa, kalau kita proper preserve, kita bagi nafas baru, tukar function yang sesuai dengan current need without tukar physical character. Okay, so dia boleh continue daripada sehingga ke generasi akan datang. Okay, kemudian item yang ketiga iaitu kawasan warisan memperkasa masyarakat. Tadi kawasan atau bangunan warisan dia boleh memperkasakan budaya kawasan. Yang ni pula memperkasakan masyarakat. Macam mana kawasan atau bangunan warisan boleh memperkasakan masyarakat? Melalui pemberkasan masyarakat melalui entiti warisan dicetuskan oleh kepentingan kawasan kepada kehidupan masyarakat dalamnya. So kalau kita conserve bangunan ataupun kawasan warisan, kita memberi tahu kepada masyarakat yang bangunan ni penting untuk mereka, untuk lokal, untuk komuniti. Bila bangunan ni penting, jadi mereka akan mula rasa bangga, prihatin dan sama-sama nak jaga. Sama-sama aware. Kalau ada satu perkara yang menjejaskan, mereka akan menghalang lah. Okay, menghalang. Bagaimana kawasan atau bangunan warisan boleh memperkasakan masyarakat melalui beberapa aktiviti, iaitu sebagai lokasi berinteraksi, berintegrasi dan menyatukan masyarakat. Ialah bangunan warisan tempat minum kopi contohnya, ada pocket park untuk berkumpul, ada park untuk menjalankan aktiviti tertentu, event dibuat di dalam bandar kawasan warisan. So apa saja aktiviti di dalam kawasan warisan yang boleh menyatu ataupun menyatu padukan masyarakat, dia dikatakan sebagai boleh memperkasa atau memperkukuhkan masyarakat. So bangunan atau kawasan warisan jangan sahaja dianggap sebagai ikon atau image untuk pelancongan. Dia sebenarnya ada juga peluang yang kita boleh jadikan untuk kita empower the society, the local community. Okay, so itu adalah antara tujuan tujuan pemeliharaan bangunan warisan, bukan sekadar memanjangkan jangka hayat bangunan itu sendiri, tapi kita boleh menjana sosio-ekonomi yang lain. Okay, sosial dan juga tadi ekonomi, sekarang sosial. Masyarakat diikat dengan kawasan sehingga berlaku pembentukan jati diri. Okay, berteraskan elemen warisan. Tanpa ikatan ini, masyarakat semasa yang mendiami atau menggunakan kawasan warisan memiliki persepsi bahawa entiti warisan hari ini tiada kaitan dengan kehidupan mereka. So ini adalah metod macam mana kita nak ikat masyarakat dengan kawasan atau bangunan warisan. Kalau bangunan tu roboh, hilang, ikatan tu tak ada. Jadi kalau bangunan tu dijaga dengan elok, preserve elok, fungsinya berterusan. Tak kisahlah, fungsi dia mungkin bertukar daripada dulu kedai runcit, sekarang menjadi hipster cafe. Tak ada masalah pun, tapi ikatan tu wujud. Dulu masyarakat pergi kedai runcit, beli barang, beli beras, beli bawang sebagainya. Tapi hari ni dah jadi hipster cafe, masyarakat masih lagi datang. Cuma nak minum kopi, nak makan. Tak beli lagi lah bawang, gula sebagainya. Tapi ikatan tu tak putus. Ikatan tu penting untuk membawa masyarakat bersama, melindungi kawasan warisan, visit, guna dan sebagainya. So ini antara item ketiga lah yang macam mana bangunan warisan boleh memperkasakan masyarakat melalui aktiviti yang dijalankan di dalam ataupun di sekitar kawasan itu sekiranya kawasan atau bangunan kita well preserved. Okey, contohlah tempat-tempat kita kawasan warisan sebagai rekreasi, tempat minum, tempat lepak, tempat makan, okey, macam Little India sampai ke hari ini menjadi sangat masyarakat India di Ipoh sangat bergantung kepada Little India untuk urusan mendapatkan perkhidmatan dan barangan swaya ke, pakaian ke, makanan ke, macam-macam lah. Ini macam mana kita bonding between masyarakat dengan kawasan. Tapi kalau kawasan ini dah tak wujud ataupun dah ditukar fungsi kepada yang tak memenuhi kehendak masyarakat, hubungan tu akan terputus. So bila hubungan terputus, peranan kawasan atau bangunan warisan untuk memperkasakan masyarakat tidak berlaku lah, tidak tercapai ataupun tidak tercapai ke tahap yang sepatutnya. Dulu macam ni, sekarang dah tak macam ni. Macam itulah. So contoh lah, ini contoh saja. Okay, yang terakhir, dah nak habis dah. Yang terakhir, sebab saya tengok tadi start patutnya pukul 9, tapi kita start pukul 9.30. Saya assume setengah jam lah kot. Saya assume lah. Okay, kawasan warisan mencetus rasa kepunyaan, sense of belonging, sense of place. Okay, kita rasa kita adalah sebahagian daripada kawasan. Kita ni dimiliki oleh kawasan. Kawasan tu dimiliki oleh kita. Kita rasa kawasan kita punya. Kalau kita rasa kita punya, apa kita buat? Secara logik kita akan jaga. Kita akan prihatin. Awareness kita akan mencapai tahap yang tinggi lah. Kalau apa-apa berlaku, contohnya demolition work ke, terjejas ke, kotor ke, tak selamat ke, masyarakat akan prihatin pada kawasan. So itu pentingnya macam mana kawasan warisan sepatutnya dijadikan sense of belonging, sense of place. Rasa kepunyaan itu penting. Okay, masyarakat terdiri daripada pemilik, pengguna, pengunjung dan pentadbir. So masyarakat ni, kalau definisi bahasa, masyarakat adalah satu kumpulan manusia yang tinggal di dalam satu kawasan. Itu masuk masyarakat. Even dalam ward hospital pun, kita panggil masyarakat ward tu lah. Sebab dia duduk bersama dalam ward hospital tu. Sehinggalah maksudnya masyarakat tu di-expand kepada daerah, bandar dan sebagainya. Itu definisi masyarakat. Maksudnya, apa saja yang berada dalam kawasan tu. Bukannya kita ni saja as a individu, pemilik bangunan, pengguna bangunan, pengunjung atau pelawat kawasan, dan yang penting sekali pentadbir kawasan. Mereka juga masyarakat. So kadang-kadang pentadbir buat keputusan nak buat polisi sebagainya, lupa yang mereka juga adalah masyarakat. Okey, wujud kelemahan hubungan antara pentadbir dengan masyarakat kerana pentadbir tidak menganggap masyarakat perlu dilibatkan dalam perancangan kawasan. Paling kuat pun dilibatkan dalam public hearing contohnya kan, buat rancangan struktur jangan tempatan dan buatlah public hearing dan sebagainya. Itu sebenarnya yang ditafsir buat masa ni, apa yang sepatutnya masyarakat terlibat, tahap mana kan. Sepatutnya tahap pelibatan tu tentu dijustifikasikan kepada kepentingan. To justify how the community involvement, dia punya significant ataupun impact, whatever decision made by the policy, from the policy, dia mesti memberi impact pada masyarakat. Kalau impact itu negatif, berarti the pentadbir put aside lah the community from the policy. Kalau impact tu positif kan, dan maksudnya polisi tu ambil kira lah, take consideration into what happened to the society. So benda-benda macam tu yang sebenarnya kita kena evaluate balik. Sebenarnya hubungan masyarakat dengan pentadbir sebenarnya adalah hubungan secara langsung. Masyarakat adalah masyarakat, pentadbir juga masyarakat, pengunjung masyarakat, pengguna masyarakat, pemilik bangunan juga masyarakat, semua masyarakat. So maksudnya kelemahan mengiktiraf peranan masyarakat oleh pentadbir akan menjejaskan rasa kepunyaan dan rasa sebahagian dari kawasan. Itu yang penting tu. Sebab masyarakat bila dia rasa dia punya, dia akan protect. Okay. Contohnya kalau kita kaji sejarah Bandar Ipoh lah. Saya bagi contoh Ipoh, sebenarnya patutnya bagi contoh banyak daerah lain sebab kita buat inventory di Ipoh kan, so dia lebih dekat dengan kita. Dulu sebenarnya Bandar Ipoh dia lebih maju. Dia bandaraya kedua terbesar dalam negeri Melayu bersekutu pada tahun 1920-an something selepas Kuala Lumpur. Tetapi walaupun dia besar ketika itu, dia tidak dibangunkan oleh pentadbiran British sebab Ipoh bukan ibu negeri Perak sehingga 1940-an. Sebelum itu Taiping yang ibu negeri Perak. Jadi British dia mentadbir Perak berpusat di Taiping. Sebab tu kalau kita tengok Taiping mempunyai 30 perkara pertama di Malaysia kan. Jalan pertama, kereta api pertama, penjara pertama, hospital pertama, ada 30 lah. Saya pun tak ingat lah semua list tu. Sebab apa? Sebab dalam negeri Melayu itu Perak antara yang termaju ketika itu dan ibu negeri Perak adalah Taiping. Jadi semua binaan pentadbiran daerah lah, stesen kereta api lah, stesen itulah inilah dibina di Taiping lah. Dia tak dibina di Ipoh. Lama-kelamaan Ipoh membangun dengan begitu pesat disebabkan oleh Biji Timah, sama juga dengan Taiping. Tapi Ipoh dibangun oleh pihak swasta. Okey, Ipoh tak dibangunkan oleh pihak pentadbiran British. So swasta ataupun individu dah lama dah memainkan peranan penting dalam pembangunan Ipoh. So benda tu dah dibawa sehingga ke hari ini. Kalau kita tengok yang memulakan hipster cafe ni sehingga mendapat taraf bandar yang memiliki hipster cafe kelima terbanyak dunia oleh Lonely Planet. Hipster cafe bukan dibuat oleh pentadbir. Yang mengangkat warisan bukan diangkat oleh pentadbir kawasan. Mula-mula hari ini cerita lain lah. Hari ini betul semua orang terlibat dalam mengangkat warisan sebagai agenda utama Bandar Ipoh. Bagus, which is perkembangan yang bagus. Tapi kalau kita study sebelum itu, pihak individu, pihak masyarakat yang membangunkan elemen warisan, agenda warisan di Ipoh sebenarnya. Later baru semua orang lah, academician lah, pentadbir kawasan dan sebagainya baru datang. Tapi sebenarnya Ipoh dah lama dah. Kalau kita study wall painting yang kita rasa Penang mempelopori lah, sebenarnya Ipoh dah wujud tahun 1940-an, 50-an lagi dah ada wall painting. Dah banyak wall painting tu. Wall painting yang pertama tu yang Marilyn Monroe dekat jalan Concubine Lane tu adalah antara yang tak awal di Malaysia. So macam tu sebenarnya Ipoh dah dibangunkan oleh pihak swasta sejak dulu kala, dan hari ini agenda warisan yang kita nampak digilap begitu baik sebenarnya dipelopori oleh pihak individu dan swasta juga. Okay, itu satu perkembangan yang baik. Maksudnya ikatan masyarakat Ipoh dengan heritage, dengan warisan, satu ikatan yang kuat sebenarnya. Satu ikatan yang kuat sebab mereka dah rasa sense of belonging tu sejak dulu. Dan kalau kita gilap lagi, impact dia akan memberi kesan yang baik lah. Okay, so saya rasa setakat tu saja. So kesimpulannya, how we appreciate the place, heritage place, kita ada 4 method lah untuk kita jadikan create awareness, untuk kita appreciate kawasan warisan, okay, untuk kita hargai sangat-sangat kawasan warisan, untuk kita rasa kita nak protect kawasan warisan. Ini adalah 4 agenda yang kita perlu bangunkan. Kita kena jadikan bangunan warisan ataupun kawasan sebagai identiti kawasan. Kita kena jadikan kawasan atau bangunan warisan untuk kita empower local culture. Kita kena jadikan kawasan warisan untuk empower the community. Dan last kali kita kena jadikan kawasan dan juga bangunan warisan tempat untuk mencetus sense of belonging. These 4 agenda ni kalau kita berjaya gilap, bangunkan, kita akan ikat masyarakat kepada kawasan atau bangunan warisan. With that, thank you. So over to you.
Terima kasih Dr. Muhammad Jaki untuk perkongsian yang sangat bermanfaat. Let me just summarize just a few points that you have identified in your lecture. So I think the first one that is very important is the significance of the heritage building, not only to provide authentic identity of the place, but also they strengthening the local community and sense of place. In addition, promote a sense of belonging. So therefore, we need to take concern over the many insensitive developments and also lack appreciation that we could see that's happening in the cities currently. So therefore, I think with this inventory, we are making a position on our part, for me, myself, and also on behalf of PAM, to say that there's a need for a greater effort to document and also disseminate inventory works for accessibility to public and also researchers to guide them for future development and also conservation purposes that is going to be happening in our country. I think everyone has seen a lot of many beautiful pictures from the presentation. I really appreciate that. And I again on behalf of Ipoh Pam PUO, the Architectural Heritage Student Workshop 2021, I would like to thank the speaker and participants for joining us today. So I'm returning back the event to Cik Yusri, the MC of today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nur Hayati and also Dr. Muhammad Jaki for the engaging session. Yeah, so we hope that all that have been shared by this session benefits us all. Okay, right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the main event of today, which is the presentation, or so we call it a final presentation of Ipoh Pam PUO Architectural Heritage Inventory. Just a recap. 4 groups were representing 4 zones in Ipoh will be sharing their findings for this morning, which are Zone 1, Pohon Ipoh, Zone 2, Kinta River, Zone 3, Tin City, and Zone 4, Heritage Trail. Each zone is given a duration of time of 15 minutes of presentation, followed by a 10 minutes input from mentors and also reviewers. Without further ado, I would like to invite and welcome the representative of Zone 1, Muhammad Haziq Akmal bin Roslan, to present the findings for Zone 1, Pohon Ipoh. Muhammad Haziq, the floor is yours.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. My name is Haziq Akmal from Ipoh Pam Polytechnic. Today, I would like to present the heritage dominant within that we have choose at Zone Pohon Ipoh, which I and my members group have been studying on it. Without wasting time, let's move to introduction of Zone Pohon Ipoh. For introduction, the name Ipoh originates from a local tree, Pohon Ipoh, or now more commonly known as pokok Ipoh. This particular plant is known for its tree sap, which is poisonous and used by the orang asli in their lodas. In the Cantonese dialect, Ipoh is known as San Seng, which means city surrounded by mountain. Ipoh is also known among Chinese Malaysian as Pahlu. The old nickname for Ipoh is City of Millionaire, referring to the vast platoon made during the tin and rubber day located in the rich tin-bearing valley of the Kinta River. Ipoh grew up as a mining town and is one of Malaysia's largest cities, with a population of 637,200 in 2004, and urban area population of 798,800 in 2004. In recent years, Ipoh popularity as an international tourist destination has been significantly boosted by effort to conserve its British colonial era architecture. Morphology in Zone Pohon Ipoh. Morphology in architecture is the study of the evolution of form within the built environment, often used in reference to a particular vernacular language of building. This concept describes change in the formal syntax of building and cities as their relationship to people involve and change. On Ipoh is clustered from organization. Clustered organization. A clustered organization use proximity to relate its space or object to one another. Cluster can accommodate within its composition stage that are dissimilar in size, form, and function. Because the pattern does not originate from a rigid geometric concept, the cluster is flexible and can accept, grow, and change easily. So this is our zone in Ipoh. There are 24 buildings and as one monument. The first building is KTMB Ipoh. KTMB Ipoh located at station KTM 3000 Ipoh Perak. The original completion year of 1970 was delayed for 3 years due to lack of construction material as well as high costs during World War I. In October 2007, the Ipoh station was reopened after 7 years of renovation as part of the railway electrification and double tracking between Rawang and Ipoh. Typology of this KTMB Ipoh is public building and it serves as the main railway terminal for the state under Kereta Api Tanah Melayu, offering KTM PTS service as well as handling freight train. The 1970 station design was conceptualized by Arthur Benison Abel, a British architectural assistant to the Director of Public Works. Credit for designing various public buildings in British Malaya in various vernacular colonial Western style as well as Neo-Moorish, Mughal, Indo-Saracenic, Neo-Saracenic style that draw influence from British Indian colonial architecture. In contrast to the Kuala Lumpur railway station, the Ipoh station exterior is more distinctively Western in design, drawing element of late Edwardian Baroque architecture and incorporating moderate plastification on the base of the ground floor, open pointed and arched pediment, extensive use of hinge column and a large central dome over the porch while integrating vernacular elements such as deep open air loggias into the ground floor and upper floor of the building. The ground floor loggia measure at 183 meters, the length of the station frontage. In spite of its overall aesthetic, elements of Indo-Saracenic architecture are still found in the form of miniature chairs towering over corner support column on both sides of the structure. The 1917 station originally features 3 platforms, one side platform and 2 platforms on an island connected by tunnel with steel and wood pitch canopy as shelter. The building embodying strict symmetry, balance and harmony. The second building is Ipoh Town Hall. Ipoh Town Hall located at 2700 Jalan Panglima, Bukit Kantang Wahab, 30,000 Ipoh Perak. It was complete in 1916 after extended construction period of over 3 years due to shortage of material during the early part of the First World War. The building was originally used as the main administrative office in Ipoh, as well as its post office and for a time also the district police office. Typology of Ipoh Town Hall is government building and formerly housing many government office like the administrative office and the post office. The building is now used as a venue for wedding and other public events. Ipoh Town Hall also served as a venue for events like the inaugural Congress of Malaya First Political Party, among many others. Designed by the government architect Arthur Benison Habeck with neoclassical style surmounted with colossal Greek and Roman column, British East India company constructed the building in 1913 and complete the building in 1916. This building were divided by two sections. The front it used as the town hall, and at the back it used as the post office. Architectural element of this building is symmetry and repetition. As we can see at the front elevation that's showing symmetry, while the repetition can be seen on the entire first floor, veranda at front elevation, which repeat use of column at side each arch. As seen on the Ipoh Town Hall, there are three arches in front of the building that act as passage that link to the entrance. There are two types of arch found around this building, which is the segmental arch and round arch. Apart from the building facade, this arch can also be seen in the building interior, which act as a divider and also passage from hall to hall. So this example of picture of segmental arch. They are mostly arch window and door, with the wall surrounding with ornamental features such as brazier and keystone. Most of the doors are topped with a transom window to allow maximum natural lighting into the building and change the quality and grandeur of the space. The building mainly used clay brick as the primary construction material, followed by utilization of marble for the flooring. The walls are accompanied by load-bearing columns which extend across the width of the building, supporting the roof load. The classical order of columns found around the Ipoh Town Hall are mainly Doric order on the exterior and iconic order in interior. So this is our thematic board. We choose theme of Pohon Ipoh. This is because at the front of KTMB Ipoh has a Pohon Ipoh that has symbolized for the Ipoh town. So for the conclusion, heritage building conservation is important for identifying, recording, analyzing and protecting heritage and culture resource. Conservation of heritage building is very important because it provides a sense of identity and continuity in a fast-changing world for future generations. To protect our heritage by participating in the regular clean lines, drive and spreading awareness around about this heritage building and their importance. Heritage influence our life because heritage is a person unique, inherited sense of family identity, the value, tradition, culture, and artifact handed down by previous generation. We absorb a sense of our heritage throughout our life as we observe and experience the things that make our family unique. So this is our video.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's all from I.
Right. Thank you very much to representative of Zone 1, Pohon Ipoh, Muhammad Haziq Akmal. Next, I would like to welcome mentor for Zone 1, Encik Abdul Muluk Abdul Manan, to review on Zone 1's work. Please welcome Encik Muluk.
Assalamualaikum, good morning. Thank you, Cik Sri. First of all, I would like to thank Pam for the chance to participate in this very interesting program. My opinion of this exercise, it is very important to give our young students or young generation more appreciation of our heritage building. So our zone, which is zone 1, Pohon Ipoh, is I think the most important zone in Ipoh, because all the iconic buildings are located within this zone. You see, like the KTMB, the Ipoh Town Hall, the High Court, even the State Mosque also is located within this zone. And this area gives the feel of a colonial time in Ipoh, which is very appropriate for a very important town like Ipoh. Now it's a city like Ipoh. So because of its importance, I think this zone has received quite a respectable attention from the government bodies and non-governmental bodies in terms of effort to preserve the buildings here. Either there's some ongoing or some of them have been completed. However, I also feel that there are few other buildings that didn't receive the same amount of attention, like the iconic buildings like the railway station and the city hall. So I think we need to look at this building and make some effort to record it and try to study its rich history, because our group sometimes struggle in looking for information about the building because it can't be found anywhere. You know, even the current occupants of the building also has very little understanding of the building history and also the building importance in the city itself. So I feel that maybe going forward, these are the things that we can. These are some of the buildings. I mean, we have about 24 buildings in the list. About only 10 which has received very good attention because of its iconic status. But there are still about 14 others who I think should receive similar attention by the government or non-governmental bodies in looking after it, and also try to preserve its original form. There are some blatant renovations which has been done on that building, which has sometimes lost its original character. Especially there are some churches, there are some schools, and also colonial era bungalows which are located within these areas with its vernacular typologies. So I think this one is some of the buildings because of the material, which is some of it half masonry and half timber. So I think these are the building that which I think we should be looking at to try to preserve and also remove all the advertisement board that have been mounted on them, and also some poorly designed landscaping that doesn't enhance the architecture, hardscape which has no relationship with the language of the buildings. So I think overall this exercise has been very good, even to me as a person, because I've been to Ipoh many times, but this time with the purpose of looking more details of the building's characteristics gave me a new appreciations of the city itself and its history, very rich history. And I think the city itself is underrated. It should be promoted more. It should be at the level of a city like Penang and also Kuala Lumpur. And even I have the feeling that if enough effort been put to apply for UNESCO World Heritage City, I think Ipoh is very much qualified. That's all my conclusions of this exercise. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Encik Mudut, for your insights on the works of Zone 1. Next, I would like to invite architect Nick Rahiman, Nick Muhammad Taib, to give his review on Zone 1. Please welcome architect Nick.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Yusri. Actually, last session I was involved with Zone 2 and 3, but based on that presentation just now, coincidentally, we were involved with one exercise to rehabilitate and do the upgrading work at the railway station.
Architect Nick, can you open your camera? Thank
okay,
you.
Hang on. Okay, so we were involved under the Railway Asset Corporation to upgrade the railway station in Ipoh. What they plan to do is that they felt that they only utilize the ground floor of the building, but not the first floor, because I mean to restore back the Majestic Hotel that was left abandoned by the Singaporean, I think, tenants for quite a number of years, to the effect that basically if you go to the railway station there today, they basically close off the staircase to the upstairs in order to prevent like unauthorized people to go up there, drug pushers and things like that. So they wanted to bring back the golden era of the Majestic Hotel. It used to be like a duplex unit over there with something like 44 units, complete with a butler room, things like that. But because of number of rooms that was available in the original building, no kind of hotel operator wanted to come, because for that number, I mean, in terms of investment, things like that, doesn't work out very well. So they gave us another site next to it as a car park place in order to develop some more rooms and hotel facilities. So what I'm saying is I'm sharing, I shared the vision by the student mentioned just now with regards to the lack of information on the heritage building, because I think generally in Malaysia, the documentation on our own heritage building is not a lot. So to the extent that you have to do like sometimes oral kind of interviews with people over there, either current users or people that's familiar with the building. Because if you go through the books or magazines or some other historical references, not much can be said. So I think from now on, we should put awareness to all those concerned with regards to taking care of heritage building, to start build up the background stories, the narration of that building for future use. So the documentation is very good, and the steps taken by Pam today is very well commended. So I'm sure after this there'll be other states that can be explored too. I mean, maybe Penang is already on the list, or Melaka, because of the number of buildings that we have, but also maybe buildings on the East Coast. Not forgetting that they also rich with all that the heritage values and building that worth going into and start building up our documents on that information. Okay, I think that's all for now. Thank you, Sri. You're muted, Sri.
Thank you to Architect Nick Rahman for the insights. I think it was a very good insight from Architect Nick just now. Next, I would like to invite Architect Nick Abdul Aziz, nickname, to give his review on Zone 1. Please welcome Architect Nick Abdul Aziz.
I think Architect Nick is not here today.
Oh, okay.
As for this morning. Yeah.
Okay, so Architect Nick Aziz is not here. With that, I believe that's all the time for Zone 1. We shall straight away proceed to the next group, which is Zone 2. With that, I would like to invite and welcome the representative of Zone 2, Muhammad Nazmi bin Muhammad Asri, to deliver his presentation. Please welcome Muhammad Nazmi.
Okay. So we are from Zone 2, which is the Kinta. Nazmi, move to second slide. Sorry, sir, they're having some line problems, so it's quite slow. Okay, so for the overall overview of the zone, for Zone 2, our inventory was done along the Kinta River side, and overall 19.
Can you make to slideshow? Thank you.
Okay, Nazmi, please expand it to slideshow view. Okay, meanwhile that I'll just continue explaining. So the morphology of the zone is a clustered organization, as can be seen through the arrangement of buildings. And then in this zone, which is located along Kinta River, majority of the heritage buildings was shop houses. We have specified it into 4 types of buildings, which is there are 12 buildings of shop houses, 3 government, 2 for religious, and 2 for public buildings. And moving on, we have chosen 2 buildings to represent the inventory. So next slide, please. Sorry, the line is quite slow, so it takes some time.
May I suggest that someone else operate the PowerPoint? Someone else with a better line operate the PowerPoint rather than wait?
Sorry, because everyone so in Bali.
Puan Ati, I think, can I share mine? I think I have
Yes,
some
please.
slides with me. Yeah, you hold on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alright. Stop sharing tu. Nazmi, can you please stop sharing? Yeah. Share script. Nampak tak?
Tak nampak
Belum,
lagi, madam. Belum.
Tak boleh. I dah share screen tapi tak keluar. Tak boleh juga. So sorry, cannot. Yeah.
Zalina,
Yeah.
okay, I think we are seeing your screen now.
Oh, can you see my screen now? Okay.
Yes. But it's sort of sharing a screen which says
You are sharing screen kan? Tapi tak keluar kan?
belum keluar dia punya PowerPoint.
Maybe good. Macam mana ni?
Tak apa, madam. I'll try to share and see.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on.
You're Utah kan? I think you got better.
No, because currently I'm in my office, so it's quite. So boleh nampak tak screen?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So our to continue, we have chosen building one as the Palo Komyu Temple. So this temple is one of the oldest Chinese temple found in Perak, which means by the artifacts of beauty and grace, which gives the meaning of driving through a decorated archway. Visitors can park in the designated lots in temple grounds. One will be gated by a pair of auspicious stone sentry lines guarding its main entrance. Then upon entering, we can see a sunlight main hall flanked by the 8 bronze ceremonial weaponry. Then we can see the main architectural element will be the relied wood, largely because of the versatility of the materials. Mainly wood is used to represent this building, and also stone, which allows the ancient Chinese to build larger structures at a very early date. And wood is also a very flexible structure. Wooden structures can bend and move without breaking, which again allows the Chinese people to create massive structures that will not break or collapse. So the use of wood over stone made Chinese architecture structurally different than the buildings of the other ancient cultures. The weight of the structure was almost entirely placed on the internal columns within the building, with no weight resting on the walls. So for the characteristics, Palo Komyu Temple was built in 1872 by a prominent tin miner, come philanthropist, Leong Fei, and was gazetted as a place of worship in 1894 by the British colonial government. Brick and concrete supports the beam structure, and the temple is mostly decorated in Chinese ancient decorations, typically by like walled compounds, raised pavilions, wooden columns, and paneling. green glazed roof tiles, which can be commonly found in all the Chinese temples, and a use of space are all notable features that can be seen from this building. The main feature of the single-story holy place is dedicated to Tai Pak Kong, the god of blessing and ethics. Hence, it was also referred to as the Ipoh Chinese Tai Pak Kong temple by the locals in the surrounding area. So next we have chosen Yunzhou Kopi, which is located in the town area in the heart of the city also. Yunzhou Kopi is a Nanyang style restaurant in Ipoh, Malaysia. It is situated, the building is built in 1920. This establishment celebrates the mix of old and new designs, filled with vintage collectibles, exposed brick walls, and original wooden beams. This building belonged to neoclassical architecture, also known as neoclassicism, emerged in the mid-18th century. Derived from the Palladian architecture, it has reference to classical of Greek and Roman. And then, unlike classical revivalism, however, neoclassical tends to draw upon the logic of entire classical volumes rather than just reusing the parts of the elements. So neoclassical architecture response was to go back to the simple, massive, and classical form of the Greek and Roman architecture era. These features can be seen prominently on the building facade. Yinzhou Kopi, now decorated in eclectic retro Chinese style with old pieces picked up here and there. The ambience is very welcoming. Tables well spaced out. The old wood ceilings and wooden shuttered windows it's been placed there since the old times or so. They have never changed the windows. But then when we went in, they actually changed the interiors to like the steel columns and beams. They've actually renovated it inside, but the facade and the exterior view, they have never changed it. They try to maintain the cultural heritage to preserve it. And the characteristics of this architecture includes a grand scale of the building, the simplicity of geometric form, the detailing, dramatic columns and blank walls, by emphasizing the simplicity of the wall and its flat planar quality, as well as the separation of elements. So moving on to the, moving on, okay, next to the thematic board. So this is our overall composition for the thematic board, and we have chosen not all the 19 buildings, but all the main buildings from each architectural era from early traditional, early straits eclectic, late straits eclectic, neoclassical, art deco, and also early modern style. So the theme that we have chosen is fenestration. Mainly fenestration refers to the openings of the building envelope, including the installation of windows, doors, and skylights within the building itself. The inclusion of window and other openings in the building are necessary as they improve the overall environment inside the building, as we all know. So why the board composition is meant in that way? The board composition is done by overlapping prominent buildings, showcasing fenestration as the main idea of this board. The buildings chosen are from various architectural timeline, consisting of early and late straits eclectic, neoclassical, art deco, and early modern style. The features of the fenestration is described from the right side of the thematic board itself. So as summary for our zone 2, which is Kinta, to conclude, Kinta River has a lot of heritage buildings with history dating back to centuries, each showcasing different styles of architecture, such as early and late straits eclectic, neoclassical, art deco, and early modern. Each building has its own identity and story behind it, and by preserving those buildings is crucial for history to live on for generations to come. These buildings make Ipoh's identity significant to its people. So that's all from our zone 2 presentation.
Okay, thank you to representative of zone 2 for the presentation. We would like to continue to invite, I would like to continue to invite mentor A.R. Zarina Abdul Aziz to give her overview on zone 2's work as a whole. Please welcome architect Zarina.
Thank you, MC. But I think I have problem to share my slides. I think I shared in the WhatsApp group to Navin and to to our WhatsApp group. Can you
Yeah,
all
hold
help?
on, Mix. I'll
Yeah.
actually share that now. Hold on.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Navin. Could you please move the second slide? Okay. This is our site, and I'd like to share with the rest. In fact, I was involved in RKK Ipoh, I think in 2018. So if you can see the morphology of the map that I've shared on the right hand side and the one that we're doing now. I think most of the development, if you can see, the shop houses are located at our zone and also the new zones. So next. So these are the photographs taken along Jalan Lahad, also Jalan Bandar Timah. The Jalan Lahad was taken I think in 1960s, if I'm not mistaken, and also Jalan Timah was quite recent. Next. And this is, I'd like to share the old photograph in 1960s, Jalan Sultan Iskandar. Next. Beautiful, right? So these are the, just now, mentor for Group 1 was telling about the name of the road. Even Jackie also mentioned about, Dr. Jackie also mentioned about the changes of the name of the road and whatnot. So sometimes when you trying to dig for all information, if you don't know the original road and with the new road, you eventually couldn't relate whatever story that you have behind. So I think it best whenever you change the road, please keep the old roads names below the new road sign. Okay. So next. So these are the what we call the facade study along Jalan Lahad, along basically in Kinta zone. We have these, I think Majlis Menara Ipoh also have this. These are the photo taken to basically for us to identify the categorization of the buildings. So I think as you all can see, well, I think Ipoh is endangered. In fact, Georgetown was included in the UNESCO because of the this kind of situation. You know, development. The development was so vast, and Majlis couldn't control the development, and there were we actually lost a lot of our nice, beautiful shop houses in Georgetown because of the development. You know, I think Ipoh is facing the same thing. Look at the the few building that is suddenly stuck up like that, sampai 5 to 6 story or whatnot. So it changed the horizon of the existing shop houses in Ipoh. I think whoever that is in power, I think should take immediate respond to this, and kalau boleh please adopt the guidelines or whatever the guidelines that you have. I think dalam RKK we did propose the guidelines, kalau boleh follow it, and can actually eventually after 5 years after the inventory was done, I've seen a lot of development in Ipoh and a lot of demolition of very interesting buildings and whatnot. I am a bit worried about all these things, and I am really hope, and I'd like to appeal to whoever that is in power to actually try to save your beautiful shop houses. Okay, next. So these are also the another row of shops which is still very intact and beautiful. And look at the development when it was done, not according to the guidelines, and the building will spoil the whole scenario of the streets. Next. Another one, also along Jalan Biji Timah. Next. This is what happened when the guideline is not followed or the development is not controlled. Last time the view from towards the if I'm not mistaken is a birch monorail too, and then you nampak the new building which is with a blue glass and whatnot. So eventually, if there's no control, the whole Ipoh will turn out to be something that is very difficult to cherish by our future generation. Okay, next. These are all another old photos I want to share with you all how beautiful it was. Next. This is Concubine Lane before, recent, and now. Look at the changes. So hopefully we can, I'm not saying that we cannot move forward. I'm not saying that development shouldn't come into Georgetown. They can, but they have to follow very strict guidelines. And hopefully whatever that you have in, Ipoh can actually be salvaged and later on be enjoyed by your future generation. Next. Okay, anyway, when I'm looking at this photo, it was taken in 2018. Okay, it is a beautiful row of short houses with a jack roof and whatnot. Look at the back. At the back, there's a development about 5-story buildings. And then can you imagine if the building at the back were to go up sampai 7 to 8 story, it will change the whole scenarios of this beautiful lady in your town. Okay, next. Imagine kalau there's no guideline, there's no control, and there's no strict observation by the local authority, this beautiful shop houses that you have will be, will be at stake. Okay, so I again look at this one. Actually, when I'm saying this, I'm actually very sad. And I hope that everybody will do their part to try to save our beautiful buildings. Next. Okay, these are the guys Nirvana bangunan yang also has been identified dalam the RKK. It's actually RKK that we have done in 2018 is quite precise, and development can actually, if they want to use but it's I think almost 5 years and almost obsolete. So there should be a new RKK on the line. I think, please help to save Ipoh. I think Dr. Jackie was right. You have the most beautiful buildings in Ipoh. In fact, some of your buildings, we don't have it in Penang, in Georgetown. Okay, I've seen 3-story beautiful shop houses, even though it's outside the zone, but it's beautiful. So please do everyone's best to try to save our heritage. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Zalina, for your insight, and very interesting sharing that you.
Before the MC, I'd like to thank Pam, PUO, and also all the students was involved in the exercise. It was quite tough because it was hot and whatnot. I think I balik pun 10 jam muka, it was I think, but it was a very, very good exercise, and Pam should continue doing this. And we are waiting for you in Penang, Datuk. Datin. Hopefully nanti can take you makan all this mie udang lah, nasi kandak lah, whatever. Okay. So thank you.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Thank you again, Architect Zalina, for your insight. For information, a few of our participants are being quarantined due in close contact to a positive case of COVID-19. So let us pray for their safety and health. So inshallah.
Yeah. So MC, one of my group pun Nazmi,
yes, correct.
So I'm a bit worried lah. So hopefully they're okay.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you.
We pray for them, inshallah. Okay, for the next panel, I would like to invite Puan Aida Suryani Abdul Kadir to give her a review on presentation of Zone 2. Please welcome Puan Aida.
Okay, thank you, Encik Muhammad Yusri Yunus. Okay, so far we have witnessed tens of buildings already been documented from Ipoh area. So I think this is something that is very much commendable, especially to the mentees with their hard works and great effort within the guidance of our experienced mentors, experienced and also hard work mentors. They spend time from 5th until today, looking after all this great effort. I think this is something that is the beginning of a long journey. Yeah? And this journey will be a continuous journey. And what we are doing now is not only for us, but more on for the future generations. So what we have seen here was a great work left by the earlier generation. So we are appreciating it now. And then we hope that whatever we are documenting now will be much more appreciated by the future generation. Maybe 50, 100 years from now, you know, yeah. And I would like to say that the history of a community contributes to its personality, yeah. And observing the history of a place through its significant historic resources give a community a unique characters, yeah. So the historic preservation provide links to the roots of the community and its people. So in overall, historic preservation adds to the quality of life, making for a more livable community. And also historic preservation involves much more than simply saving and restoring old buildings and sites of historic importance. There are economics, cultural, environmental, and educational benefits of historic preservation, and all of which are inextricably connected to one another and to the living, sorry, to the living memory of involved communities. So to all the students involved in these projects, I hope that you will continue in your future endeavors, and one of you will become such a personality like Dr. Jackie. One of you will be Dr. Jackie, you know, in the future, and one of you will be Dr. Wan Srihani in future, you know, and also Prof. Mio in the making. Also, there will be some among you. So, and I'm so happy to see collaborations between the professionals and also the authorities like Majlis Bandara Ipoh. And then there is a great synergy between this local, public and private universities. So together we can do more, you know. So I think if we are still around, we can hope we can help to promote more and more cities. Yeah, even though cities like Georgetown or Malacca has a lot of documentation. Lots of documentation has been done in the previous years, but what we are doing now is considered the latest collections of what people have done before. Yeah. So what we are referring now, maybe already 10 years old documentation, 20 years old. Yeah, so with what we are going to keep in Pame, yeah, for everybody to access from local and from abroad. This is considered the latest information, especially we can see within this 2 years period, lots of things happening, you know, especially when people don't really take care of the building due to the pandemics, because we don't really use the building on the exterior of it. We are mostly using it internally. So we can tell what are the consequences of the pandemic, and we can better see 5 years from now what had happened within the 2 years period of this pandemic. You know. So with that, I once again would like to say my sincere thanks to all the persons involved, from PAMS, from Daris Pixel, from all the universities, and also the reviewers who so much they have shown so much energy, you know, when in giving their inputs in making this event a successful. With that, once again, I hope we not only doing something meaningful, but we enjoy doing it. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Thank you, Dato, for your insight on the overview of the work done by our participants and our mentors and our mentees. I would like once again to invite Puan Aida Suryani Abdul Kadir to give her review for Zone 2's presentation. Please welcome Puan Aida. If Puan Aida is not here again, I think we continue to the next group. Maybe Puan Aida will come back later on for her comments. So without further ado, I would like to invite and welcome the representative of Zone 3, Anis Elia binti Badru Hisham, to present the findings and the outcome of Zone 3. Please welcome Anis Elia.
Thank you, Encik Muhammad Yusri. Can you hear my voice clearly? Can you hear my voice clearly? Okay, all right. Share my screen now. Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the organizers and everyone. Before starting my presentation, I would like to thank the organizers of this program, which is the PAM PUO Architectural Heritage Inventory. My name is Anis Elia binti Badru Hisham and I'm from Polytechnic Ipoh Pam. And also before starting my presentation, I would like to say hi to my family and friends that are watching from the Facebook Live. Hello guys, thank you for supporting. And then, okay, now I'll start my presentation with the thematic board and the introduction. Okay. First, I'll talk about the thematic board. Okay. So our thematic board is designed and organized by our dear friend Alif from UPM. So the explanation a bit about this composition is that the composition of the photo collage is just random. However, the selected photos are the best to portray the overall theme. It has a strong influence by classical British colonial, eclectic and neoclassical style. And all the architectural elements still remain, such as the doors, windows, stairs that made by hardwoods that ages more than 100 years old. And lastly, most doors topped with a transom windows, which gives maximum natural lighting into the building. So that is a little bit explanation about the composition of our thematic board. Now I'll move on to the summary of what we have explained on this board. So the purpose of this inventory is to identify key elements for cultural heritage conservation and management. It is hoped that it would spark debate among heritage professionals on how to improve the effectiveness of inventory. Identify and describe heritage places for a variety of purposes, including heritage management and protection, as well as public appreciation. Inventories are completely different from heritage surveys or other data gatherings, which they collect information over a defined time frame. The 19th century tin mining boom influenced much of the present day architecture in Ipoh. This zone very much has a strong influence by classic British colonial, eclectic, and neoclassical style. In terms of architecture elements, it has an obvious influence from those architectural styles. Most of doors and windows are originally from hardwood that is just more 100 years old, and most of the doors are topped with transom windows to allow maximum natural lighting into the building and enhancing the quality of the space. So that is the summary of our thematic board that is designed and created by our friend Ali from UPM. Now I'll move on to the introduction of Tin City. So the history of the development of the city of Ipoh began in the old town during the era of tin mining. During the reign of the Malay king, Ipoh was only a small village. The change only began to take place during the reign of the British government around 1877. Since then, it began to turn into a city and became a public focus, especially the Chinese who came from Penang to try their luck in Perak. Many shop houses began to be built and the city of Ipoh became increasingly developed. In 1890, the city of Ipoh began to become the second largest city in Perak after Taipei. The rise of the city of Ipoh can be seen with the construction of clubhouses, Chinese cinemas, and large markets. In 1892, the city of Ipoh suffered a major fire and destroyed almost a third of the houses here. However, in 1893, the destruction was repaired with the construction of many better stone houses, as can be clearly seen. The construction of shop houses has also increased rapidly as a result of the construction of the Kinta Valley Railway between Ipoh and Batu Gajah, which is used to help the mining industry and business run more smoothly. So that is a little bit about the introduction of Tin City. So this is the map of our zone, which is the Tin City. A little bit information about our group is that we have the most buildings that we have to research, which is 32 buildings. And we are actually very grateful to have been given that opportunity. And we will take this opportunity as something good to us and will forever be grateful. So next, I'll show you our board that we have submitted. So just briefly show you, this is our first board. So on our first board, we have our buildings and also the maps of the Tin City. Next is our second and third board. And then our fourth and our last board. So we'll move on to the morphology of our zone. So we've get that our morphology of our zone is a great organization. So I want to share you a little bit about what great organization is. It is the continuity and the regularity created by the grid gives the composition of a strong sense of stability and organization. It helps unite forms of dissimilar shape and scale. Functionally and visually, it helps regulate the orientation of the composition. Typically, grid patterns are emphasized by the structural elements of the building. This includes the regular layout of columns and beams. It can also be emphasized through non-structural elements such as the joints of materials or millions in glass. Grid patterns also can be interrupted at specific locations in order to create hierarchy. This allows for portions as the composition where the grid is disrupted to stand out, giving them a greater sense of importance. So that is a little bit information about the great organization. But before moving on, I would like to share a little bit of my opinion. I feel like and I think that the combination of the great organization and the heritage building is something that we can take advantage on, because it has its own benefits and we should take advantage on it. So this is because from the organization, which is the great organization, we don't only get a heritage building, but we can get a stretch of heritage building. So I think with this information, we can take advantage and appreciate it in the near future. So that is about the morphology of the zone. Then next, I'll move on to the typology. So in this zone, the Tin City zone, we've obtained that there are three types of typology, which is first is shop houses, second is public building, and third is government building. So on the shop houses, the right side is actually just a few pictures of what represents as shop houses in our zones. So you can see there is the Fantasy House, the Ipoh Traders, and also the Ipoh shop lots. And on the left side is actually a definition of shop houses. So I'll read it. A shop house is a vernacular architectural building type that is commonly seen in areas such as urban Southeast Asia. Shop houses are mostly 2 or 3 stories high with a shop on the ground floor for mercantile activity and a resident above the shop. So that is the definition of shop houses. Next is public building. So on the right side is also the pictures of public buildings that are in our zone, our Tin City zone. So we have the HSBC Bank, the car park, and also the Standard Chartered building. So the definition of public building is that public buildings are any type of building that is accessible to the public and is funded from public sources. It defines frequently visited by the public as daily attendance during days of operation by people for purposes unrelated to their residence, employment, education, or training. And lastly is government building. So on the right side is the same as before, example of government building that is located in our zone. And on the left side is the definition. I know it's short, but it is a definition. So it is a building that houses a branch of government. So, so for our presentation today, we are asked to choose 2 prominent buildings to present. So our first building is the Birch Memorial Clock Tower. So I will start with the history. It is located in a square inside Old Ipoh. The 4-sided Birch Memorial Clock Tower stands in front of Ipoh State Mosque. The whitewashed structure, 4 statues surround the centerpiece. This represents the 4 pillars of British administration, which is patience, justice, loyalty, and fortitude. But unlike other clock towers in Malaysia, Ipoh relates to a story of violence, revenge, and a Malay uprising. So it is very interesting. And then the architectural characteristic of this tower is a Victorian style architectural characteristics. And the building elements that this tower architecture was designed in rectangular shape, where every corner of the tower was placed 4 terracotta statues representing the 4 virtues of British administration, like I've mentioned before, which are loyalty, which is represented with the statue holding a sword and shield, justice, represented with blindfolded statues holding a balance, patience, represented with armless statue, and lastly, fortitude, represented with calm-faced statue holding a spear. So this is about our first prominent building, which is the Birch Memorial Clock Tower. Then we move on to our second prominent building, which is the Alin House. The history of this building is that Alin House, aka Kapitan Chung Tai Pin and Pin Ki Chan, was built in 1905 by Kapitan Chung Tai Pin, a prominent tin miner and last Kapitan China of Perak and Malaya. It was used as a tin headquarters and trading house to manage his vast business activities in Malaya. The building had undergone 10 years of preservation, conservation and restoration works to return to its former glory. As part of its adaptive reuse activities made in Ipoh, a heritage, history, cultural and art edutainment gallery museum has been established showcasing the stories, life and legacy of the last Kapitan of Malaya and Ipoh, the city that Tim built. So you can see this is actually a really beautiful building, and for your information, my group, subgroup under Zone 3 is the one who is responsible to research about this building. And we actually enjoyed our time and the information that we learned from this building. So the architectural characteristics is a neoclassical architectural style, and the building elements, this building has decorative and ornamental elements of neoclassical architecture characterized by grandeur of scale, simplicity of geometric forms, Greek, especially Doric and Roman details, and dramatic use of columns, which is also known as the Island House. Okay. It's a 3-story imposing facade brick masonry exterior, asymmetrical shapes and decorative streams also reflect the Victorian architectural style. A trademark design of the building is the decorative style fleur de lis, which is French lily, design on its parapet wall. So this is the building elements of for the Island House. So before moving on to the conclusion, I would like to share you our video, our 3-minute video of during our inventing. Can you see my screen? All right.
Anis, we cannot see your video. Are you
All right, I'll try to share my screen again. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
Stop sharing first.
All right. Okay, can you see it now?
Okay, yes.
Yes. One time. Okay. All right. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Please enjoy the video.
Is there any sound?
Anis, you need to share sound. You need to click at the bottom to share sound.
Click at the bottom.
Unshare again.
All right.
Before you share the screen, there is a button where you say share audio. You need to do that.
All right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I would like to thank our talented friend Hafizuddin for creating and compiling all those videos. All right, now conclusion. We have concluded that heritage should be defined as what was initially present on the past. As one wise man says, we must share and conserve our heritage building as it is important for our next upcoming generation. A heritage building's value is not quantifiable. Once it's lost, it can never be replaced and can be considered gone for good. We are hopeful that one day that the conservation of heritage buildings will be given serious consideration and not taken lightly. Thank you.
Thank you to Group 3 representative Anis Elia binti Badrisham for the presentation. Next, I would like to invite and welcome mentor for Group 3, Associate Professor Architect Mio Muhammad Farid to give his overview on the work done by Group Zone 3. Please welcome Prof. Mio.
Okey, terima kasih Encik Yusri dan for the presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning and Polytechnic Ungku Omar for organizing this workshop for us students as mentees have done quite splendid given to the time so burdened with complete the assignments and also my line's a bit unstable, but nevertheless, inshallah. Okay, for Group 3, Tin City, as mentioned by Anis, we are tasked with doing inventory for 32 odd buildings. So even though in a compact zone, but the numbers are a lot for students to conduct inventories, but nevertheless, students did manage, even though there are a few missing information, which hopefully other researchers can follow up to complete whatever that they have started. It's a mix of shop houses and institutional building, and even got the only, I think, tower or memorial clock compared to other zone. And quite ironic also, the Bush Memorial Clock Tower is located at the Medan Selera Datuk Sagor, the two antagonists in the Perak War. If you look into the history of Birch and also Datuk Sagor. And I'm quite privileged to be given a chance to be the mentor. I'm from Sungai Siput, nearby town, so I never got a chance to really look into the various heritage buildings within my hometown. And I think we hope that for students also, it would be a good experience to trigger an awareness. Semoga terdetik rasa kesedaran tentang warisan bangunan bersejarah di Ipoh dan juga probably in other states and in other cities or towns, and hopefully akan berputik rasa kesedaran, appreciation that you as the younger generation should be the voice of community, the eyes and ears to ensure that our legacies will be preserved for. So we hope that this will be only the start, that inshallah, as you continue your studies and later work, that you will be one of you can be the Dr. Jackie or Zalina that continue to fight for the position of our historical buildings. So with that, thank you much for Pam for organizing this, and PO for being the for our heritage workshop. Sekian, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, and thank you, Prof. Mio, for the insight. Next, I would like to invite the speaker of the day, Dr. Mobdaki, to give his review on works on Zone 3. Please welcome Dr. Zaki.
Okay, thank you, Cik Yusri. I'm together with Prof. Mio as a mentor for the Group 3, Zone 3. Okay, the most numbers of building that we need to find the information, but for me it's not a problem. For us it's not a problem. So for the student now, it looks like it's not a problem at all. So congratulations to them. You did a great job. You finished with, I can say, flying colors. Okay. Thank you very much, and then for your effort and your commitment. And thank you, Pam, for giving the opportunity to the student to explore more on the heritage building and heritage area. Okay. I have 2 points that need to highlight. First is because of MCO, sometimes I feel not satisfied with the data collection method, which is students and all of us have to rely on few type of sources that we can penetrate, we can gather, which is online search, okay, books, library, and then rely on certain materials, written materials, and so on, something like that. So hopefully in next exercise we can have ample time to have interviews with the local. So because for me, heritage is not only about the building, the tangible side. It's very important to highlight the intangibles, the story behind the building, the story together with the building, because that is information we need to get from other sources, not just written books or media and so on. We need to interview the building users, the historian, local historians, the heritage society, and so on, to get more story on the building. For example, like Concubine Lane, why they call Concubine Lane, and then for example, Alin House. For example, Alin House is not a name of the building. It's just they changed the building 5 years ago when Madam Alin bought the building 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. Before this, the building called known as a Chun Taiping buildings. So that's the story we need to record also, not just the physical appearance, physical characteristic of the building. We in architecture background, we kita boleh goreng. Okay, this building is Paladin design, is Southern China, shop houses, eclectic design, classical, and so on. We can elaborate a detail in terms of architrave, pediment, blah blah, and so on. It's like our fingertips. It's not a problem for us. But what about the layman, not the people who have not a built environment background? What is it, that story they need to know? Is it the story that can attract them? If us, okay lah. Kan, we are we know those things, and then we need that information because that's our interest. What about the layman? So the most important for me is bring together the intangible things together with the tangible. Okay, so but during the MCO, student difficult to go out easily to find. We can arrange appointment with the local historian, local sources, so that student can interview, get more story and so on. But it's very difficult during this situation, the MCO, the restriction, so they cannot go out many times, just once. Just imagine, to collect data about people, about community, you only give one chance, and then in one day you have to finish all, you have to gather all. So which is, again, you have to rely whatever written in the pamphlet, brochure, books, and so on. But that's the only things. Okay, and point number two is, this story is very important to tell, to share to the people, so to the community, to the visitors. So I hope MBI, okay, Majlis Bandara Ipoh, take this great opportunity to liaise with the PAM, try to collaborate with the PAM to get those stories, and then start thinking about installing information board in front of the facade, plug, whatever you call it, whatever material you call it. Share the story to everyone, okay, to visitors, to locals. Let everyone know the story of the building, whatever student have done research, and then collaborate with PAM, get the stories, then make sure you need to do some cross check with the local resources, and then before you exhibit and publish and so on. Okay, that's all for me. Again, congratulations, students. Thank you.
Thank you to Dr. Jackie for your insights. And next, I would like to invite Architect Nick Abdul Aziz, Nick Din, to give his review on the outcome of presentation of Zone 3.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Actually, I was in the group 1, but I just follow using the viewer only, so I cannot speak during that time. Sorry for the inconvenience. But first, I would like to congratulate the students for their wonderful works. And then my comment is first, this exercise. Okay, sorry. Okay, this exercise give like trigger the awareness to conserve the building, which is not documented anywhere, because this building, we know the famous heritage building in Ipoh, for example, railway station, town hall, and everything. But some of the building that presented today, not even I've never seen anywhere in the documentation paper documented or whatever. So the other comment about, because the very short time for students to gather the information, maybe some of the important elements or some important point that maybe can be included in for the next researcher. For example, the usage of the building. Previously, it was originally shop lot, or later it was transformed into big new building, or and then maybe student can include in their or researchers, later researchers can include in their presentation like the historical changes of the building. For example, it was originally a public building, later it was transformed and bought over by other owner and transform it to something different. For example, the Arlene House that presented previously, I believe it was something else, but it was bought by, for example, Dr. Jackie mentioned it was bought by Madam Arlene last 5 years, and then it was changed to what it is right now. So we can track the changes from, for example, the first reign from 1920s to 1950 was like this. From 1951 to maybe 1980, it was something else, and later it can create changes. This is part of the historical and heritage that we can record and conserve that. And maybe we can define the parameters that changes the building use, the usage of the building. That's my comment, and maybe we can improve further in the next exercise. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Architect Abdul Aziz, for the review and insight and comments. And for that, I would like to thank again to Zone 3, the mentors, and also the panel for the comments and the reviews. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are moving to the last presentation for today. With that, I would like to invite and welcome the representative of Zone 4, the Heritage Trail, Muhammad Izarul Azim bin Idris, to present the outcome and the findings for Zone 4. With that, please welcome Muhammad Izarul.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. I wish to respective panel, mentor, and mentees. My name is Muhammad Izarul Azim Beatrice from Polytechnic Ipoh Pam. I'm from Zone 4 Heritage Trail. I'm a representative our group Zone 4 to presenting the study of the Heritage Trail in Ipoh with the guidance of our mentor Encik Irwan and Dr. Wan Sri Hani during these 2 weeks. As you know, this workshop happened for 2 weeks starting on the 5th to 19 November. It lot of experience and input we gained during the site inventory. We are having so much fun and experience with our group mate. Thank you to all organized and sponsored by PAM, PO, Garis Pixel, because give us the opportunity to participate in the program. We really appreciate it. For your information to meet the criteria of our teamwork, we decide to separate to 4 different small groups for our zone. Each group covers 4 to 7 buildings on that day. So we used to save time for each group. Without further ado, now I would like to continue to present our thematic poster, followed by an event review of our work, and lastly, we will show a short video of our site visit Heritage Ipoh, edited by Farah Wahida on our group member. Okay, you can see the introduction. Heritage trail are walking trail in urban and rural setting that are identified by signage and guidebook relating to cultural heritage. The Ipoh Heritage Trail is of city history and appeal by militants without preserving their essentialness. We have came across many architectural styles that can be different by looking at its physical appearance. Heritage Trail cover building from 1860 until 1957. Next, this is our thematic board. You can see the first image as Zone 4 cover many type of architecture style. Here are some diversity of the architecture style discovered. First is the Red House Cafe located in Jalan Sultan Indah Iskandar, was built in 1885. Mark the British colonialism, Tanah Melayu is resemble colonial British style can be seen from the window on both sides that are similar with symmetrical design with covered pillar that symbolize colonial style. On 1895 mark the spread of Christian religion has reached Ipoh with the completion of St. Michael Church. This church resembles Gothic architecture by looking at the stained glass window with pointed arch at front facade of the church. For Kedai Ubat Tah for Chong, resemble their early straight athletic style that start from 19th. The style is determined by looking at the fenestrations such as window that are using trepated arrangement and made by timber. Next is Yin Pom, Ipoh, Sendiri dan Berhad, and kedai kopi Wo Hang adapting street electric style. 1910 can be differentiated by the shape of the window that has a full arch on top and having a full length shuttered window. The last is Chua Cheng Bu, Ruby Cinema, and building Fong Siong building, both resemble Art Deco that start around 1930. Similarly, these two buildings has a geometrical design window that is limited to the extended parapet. During Art Deco period, all of the windows start using glass material with metal frame. Some strong features differ Art Deco from the other style is by having a pole or flat pole. Next, this is our inventory board. First board, second board. Next is third board and fourth board. Next, we present about morphology of zone. Morphology in architecture is the study of the evaluation of form within the built environment. Often used is reference to a particular vernacular language of building. This concept describes change in the formal syntax of building and city as their relationship to people involved and change. Often morphology describe process such as the categorical study in the change of building, and they are used from a historical perspective. So it was divided by cluster form of zone. Clustered is the zone grouped by proximity or the sharing of a common visual trait or relationship. This is our mapping zone for heritage trail. Next, typology of building. They have two. First is a religious building. Part culture, the universal and external appeal of religion made the church or temple the most expressive, the most permanent, and the most influential building in any community. The typology of a religious architecture is complex because the function of any one religion involve many different kinds of activity, all of which change with the evaluation of cultural pattern. For the commercial building, commercial architecture is the design of building and structure for use by business. This genre of architecture is focused on combining function with style to meet the needs of a wide range of building types. The impact of commercial architecture can be seen in any major city center where almost all the buildings are commercial. Okay, our group choose two buildings such as the Chua Cheng Bok and Saint Michael Church. So the Chua Cheng Bok building is sleek, linear, decorative facade, mixture of Malay, Chinese, and Europe ornament to emphasizing straight eclectic style such as our window and facade use. Okay, Chua Cheng Bok building have the window are also decorated by an arch-shaped facade to show and straight eclectic style. Chua Cheng Bok were located at 94 Jalan Sultan Idris, Ipoh Perak. The original owner, early 20th century tycoon Chua Cheng Bok, was the founder of the popular auto firm Cycle and Carriage, which opened its first branch in Ipoh in 1996. We also the builder to the Coliseum and Book House in Kuala Lumpur. Next is a commercial building at a road here had been named after the late tycoon and philanthropist Chua Cheng Bok, as the hill had played an influential role in Perak history. Perak Heritage Society President Lau Siak Hong said the famed founder of Cycle and Carriage Building, the three-story Chua Cheng Bok building at Jalan Horli here. The building are now painted with rainbow color to attract people attention about this lovely heritage building on this space sourced by, from Majlis Bandaraya Ipoh. For late straight electric style in 1910 to 1930. Basically, it has two to three story. This building is influenced by Chinese style. We can see from the architecture on the building. They are carved a vent, cable, and an A-well. It also influenced by European style with the characteristic of full-length shuttered window, projecting roof, bracket, plaster relief, the geometric pattern, floor tile, panel tiles below the window. Okay, next, St. Michael Church. St. Michael Church began humbly in 1890. The church building was originally a simple wooden structure built on the exact spot of the present main convent school hall. The church was built by a Chinese Christian contractor named Mr. Yong Chong. Construction of the Gothic style church took 2 years. The new church was completed in 1895. St. Michael Church relocated at 24 Jalan Gereja, Ipoh Perak, opposite to SMK Convent Ipoh. The four Chinese characters of the front arch of the port coach state that God is the source of all as to renovate new sanctuary and fresh coat of paint, Peter Pang, in 1984-95. Also commissioned the building of the three-story parish activity center and Chinese style shrine dedicated to Our Lady of Fatima. For Gothic style, St. Michael Church has incorporated Gothic architectural style in the construction of its building. These features can be seen through in a slender vertical pier. Beside the characteristic features can also be seen through in pointed arch on the front of the building, as well as each window design. In the 12th to 30th century, feat of engineering permitted increasingly energetic building. So the point is a Gothic arch we use a solution to the problem of building a very tall structure while preserving as much natural light as possible. For building element, among the elements that can be seen on the building are the point arch. The innovation of the point arch was also another key characteristic of Gothic architecture. The stronger arch allowed for much more vertical height. The pointed arch can be also be categorized as the most fundamental element of the Gothic style of architecture, which was likely borrowed from Islamic architecture to that would have been seen in Spain at this time. The last is the point arch relieve some of the thrust and therefore the stretch of on either structural element. Okay, before I end this presentation, I would like to show our site visit during inventory on zone heritage trail. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to Muhammad Izzarul for the presentation for Zone 4. Now I would like to welcome mentor Encik Irwan Jamaluddin to give his overview of presentation for Zone 4. Please welcome Encik Irwan.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum dan selamat pagi. Terima kasih kepada Encik Yusri dan kepada Datuk AR Zuhairi dan kepada Datin Dr. Nur Hayati. Terima kasih kerana bagi peluang MBI join sekali dalam usaha kita nak memperkasakan ataupun buat inventory lah untuk bangunan-bangunan history yang ada dekat kawasan Bandara Ipoh ni. Terlebih dahulu saya nak ucapkan terima kasih kepada presenter kita tu, Muhammad Izzarul Azim. Terima kasih, dan juga kru-kru ahli-ahli Zon 4 kerana usaha mereka untuk nak buat inventory ni. Sebenarnya banyak kekangan yang dapatlah masa kita buat tu kan. Yang pertama sekali, macam Dr. Jaki cakap lah, limited masa 2 hari tu dengan waktu cuti. So student nak buat research pun saya rasa tak berpeluang nak masuk library, nak buat nak interview. Sebenarnya banyak lagi macam yang Dr. Jaki cakap lah, bukan setakat bangunan aja. So budaya tu saya rasa salah satu perkara yang penting lah. So sebenarnya saya dengan PO ni daripada student lagi, daripada Dr. Jaki praktikal lagi sebenarnya, sehingga sampai jadi doktor lah. So memang saya dah soul saya memang kat sini lah. Saya ada 2 perkara yang saya minat, bangunan sejarah dan juga buluh lah. Ada 2. So apa yang kami mampu buat dekat MBI ni, kita buat macam yang Zalina cakap lah. Kita buat RTK, kita zoningkan kawasan. Kita cuba untuk pantau apa yang developer-developer tu, dan kadang kami pun menghadapi kekangan untuk mengekalkan bangunan-bangunan warisan ni. So yang setakat ini bagi pihak MBI, memang pihak MBI mengalu-alukan lah inventory projek-projek yang macam ni. Kalau boleh kita kolaborasi dengan universiti-universiti untuk kita buat inventory, sebab setakat ini yang MBI ada yang inventory hanya tak silap saya 100 bangunan. Satu bangunan pun kita tak confirm lagi. Kita masih lagi searching. Masih lagi mencari cerita-cerita di sebaliknya, cerita-cerita daripada ahli sejarah apa semua tu. So kami pun buat part, cuma tim kami kecil lah, kami tak besar. So dengan ada bantuan daripada PAM, daripada PO tu, saya rasa memang banyak membantu pihak MBI sendirilah. Sebab kami pun tak cukup kaki tangan sebenarnya. So ini sebenarnya saya bantu ni sebab saya punya passion terhadap bangunan sejarah lah. So seboleh-bolehnya memang apa juga projek yang melibatkan lorong kat belakang ke ataupun yang melibatkan bangunan sejarah, untuk ni memang saya volunteer untuk terlibat. Sebab saya memang macam Azalina tadi lah, memang saya sayang bangunan-bangunan sejarah. Lagi satu untuk tim Zon 4, terima kasih saya ucapkan. Ramai juga yang mesej saya. Sebab ada setengah tu, hampir separuh kita tak dapat info tentang bangunan. Macam macam Dr. Jaki cakap tadi lah, ada bangunan tu nama dia lain, dia dah tukar owner, dia dah jadi lain, padahal asalnya mula adalah bangunan lain. So benda-benda macam ni saya rasa kita perlukan masa yang panjang, kita perlukan research yang mendalam. Walau bagaimanapun ini adalah good starting lah. untuk starting apa effort daripada PAM. Saya rasa bagi pihak Datuk Bandar pun memang Datuk Bandar pun suka benda-benda ni. Ucapkan terima kasih banyak-banyak kerana membantu pihak MBI lah. So kita boleh share knowledge macam mana. So saya tak langsung pun kami pun terpetik hati untuk untuk cuba nak restore bangunan-bangunan lama. Macam semalam pun saya ada message Encik Yusri supaya ada nak major drawing ke apa semua kan. Kita nak restore bangunan yang kita rasa macam dah teruk sangat apa semua tu. Kita cuba, cuma mungkin kekangan bajet lah daripada pihak PBT. Tapi kami berharap student-student yang sekarang ni lah, yang mana yang batch-batch kami ni kami cuba untuk pertahankan setakat mana yang kami mampu. Cuma batch-batch yang akan datang ni kalau boleh kita teruskan perjuangan. Sebab bangunan sejarah ni once dia hilang memang tinggal sejarah. Okay, overall saya rasa ini adalah projek yang terbaik lah. Saya ucapkan terima kasih semua. Bagi yang perkara-perkara lain saya rasa okey, cuma kekangan masa lah. Time saya pun nasib baik Puan Nisa selalu alert. Selalu mesej saya, selalu call saya. Kalau tak saya pun kadang-kadang saya blur juga. Hari ni ke apa kan. So, terima kasih banyak-banyak kerana bantu. So ada apa-apa lagi jangan lupa invite saya. Saya sedia membantu dalam apa jua cara lah. Saya rasa itu ya. Terima kasih. On behalf of Datuk Bandar, saya ucapkan terima kasih lagi sekali. Okay, bye. Itu je.
Terima kasih and thank you to Encik Erwan. Next, I would like to invite Encik Syahril bin Sapiran from Majlis Bandaria Ipoh to give his review on the works of the whole workshop. With that, please welcome Encik Syahril.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. First of all, thanks to PAM, Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia, and POO lah, and all the parties who involved in organizing this program. And thanks also for inviting Ipoh City Council to join and participate as one of the mentor also from MBI, Encik Irwan. And then for the comments for group number 4, just now has been presented by Muhammad Izarul. For me, the presentation is good and informative. Just to share some of the experience lah, how the process undergone to get the permission from the building owner lah. This is regarding the linear corner lot block L shape. The building name is Chua Cheng Book Building. Just now has been presented. The colorful building, the rainbow color. During that time, if I'm not mistaken, in back to the year 2017, we MBI call for all the owners for the whole stretch of the shop houses there, and from 100%, I think 80% of the owners came to MBI. We had a town hall meeting lah to get the permission from the building owner. We want to paint their facade with a colorful rainbow color, and some of the owner won't agree lah because of the color. We presented, let's say for this unit, we want to color with the color blue, and the owner refused to have a blue color. They want, for example, yellow color because of the building, let's say for DG, for example. So they want their corporate color. So we have to change a bit, reorganize the color and some of them also they want to use their, of course they want to use their money lah. So for this project, whenever we tell them we want to use 100% from Ipoh City Council money, so they don't have to apa tu belanja their own money, and because of that they all agree lah, yeah, because of the money. And then the restriction of the signboard, we restrict the size of the signboard for the whole stretch. And also during that time, I think almost 2 weeks, we took the progress to complete all the coloring. And after that, it's very successful for this project, even though some of the criticized from this heritage, they say that supposed to be the color must be using lime color, so not so bright. But for me, this is the color is very interesting, and also this building is not gazetted under apa tu warisan lah, apa tu Akta Warisan Kebangsaan 2015. So it is okay. Same goes to Little India. We also have the project before to color with the colorful, but that one we follow the guideline from Jabatan Warisan Negara. And then for my suggestion for the next project, if we have another project in the future, we can study also the strong character of the races in Ipoh lah. For example, in Malay, Indian, and Chinese architecture. Because in Ipoh we see the building character. We have the character for these three races. For Indian, we have Little India. For Chinese, we have the Paluh punya temple. Just now has been presented. This Paluh punya temple is the original punya southern Chinese architecture from the Guangdong province in China. So if you study the Chinese architecture, the character is the same from the mainland punya southern part of Chinese. And then some of the proposal also I have received from the Chinese community. They want to build a archway which is represent Chinese punya character lah in Ipoh. So for Malay, we can have we also have the apa tu covered punya walkway lah. In this is only a proposal lah in Gerbang Malam. So we try to have a Malay punya architecture in Ipoh. So we have the three character of Malay, Indian, and Chinese architecture. So if we have a strong character for these three races, and then we can have apa tu heritage trail based on this. So it's different from other city. So other city only a typical punya heritage trail, but in Ipoh we have a special punya character of heritage trail. And then I want to comment about the building profile. Just now in the presentation, I see about the ketinggian of the shop houses. Some of the shop houses, the limit height is only 3 story, but some of it up to 7 story or 5 story. That one is basically dah terlambat daripada RKK, which has been gazetted. So we give approval before the RKK has been gazetted. But after that, we control strictly for the core zone in Ipoh City. Out of core zone, we don't restrict lah for the building height and everything. But the problem is some of the developers or the building owners, they will say that bangunan tu boleh, why not we can't do that kind of construction ataupun ketinggian lah. So that one we need to justify to them very apa tu very strict lah, and then we need to show them the boundary line of the core zone and the buffer zone, which area we reserve for heritage, and out of the boundary you can build at any height lah. And also in Ipoh we have the restriction at the boundary of Istana. That one is 500 meter radius, 800 meter radius. We control the height of the building based on the Istana lah. We have several Istana in Ipoh lah. For overall, yesterday also I have a meeting with Datuk Manda regarding the redevelopment of Kampung Kuchai, Kampung Kuchai and Kampung Paloh. So that's why we ask also assistance from Polytechnic Unkoma to have a major drawing, everything. If we can collaborate to rejuvenate Kampung Kuchai lah, because yesterday Datuk Manda also mentioned about the soul. So he mentioned quite banyak kali jugalah about the soul of the place. So if we think about the profit, we will sure to redevelop the area. We demolish all the heritage building, all the old timber houses, and we do the development. For example, we do the apartment ke, housing scheme ke. So that will be more benefit and profit to Ipoh City Council and also to other parties, but not that issue about the profit, but the main thing is about the soul of the places lah. We need to know how the place origin, and we need to preserve it for the future generations, and also for the students to know about the story behind it. So I think for overall very good presentation, very good program for PAM and POO and all the parties involved. And I hope this will continue for the future, and can invite Ipoh City Council to share the experience and to share all the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Encik Syaril, for the insight. We here in Polytechnic Diploma, we truly support the effort that MBI is planning to preserve the legacy of Kampung Kuchai and Kampung Paloh. With that, thank you again. And lastly, I would like to invite architect technologist Ong Chin Pung to give his review on the works of students and participants of the workshops. Please welcome Architect Ong.
Okay, good afternoon, already 12:30, so almost lunchtime. So good afternoon. Before I proceed, I need to thanks to Encik Yusri, Puan Nisa, Dato, Datin, PUO, and also PAM HCC committee for giving me such an opportunity to be part of the, a reviewer for this program. So again, please bear with me my broken English. So during my suggestion here, so MBI, Pakar, and also the registered conservator like Dr. Jackie, A.R. Zalina, A.R. Nick Rahiman, you guys can comment and correct me if I'm wrong. So before that, I would like to compliment and thanks to the student for such a great work, hard work within such a limited times, and congratulations. So so when we talk about heritage, right, we always talk about authenticity. So there's one quote we mentioned here is do as much as necessary, but as little as possible, which means the change. So in almost Ecomo's Bureau Charter. So for my suggestion wise, I suggest students may try to add on and identify which part is authentic and which part is intervention. Like for example, like can highlight the intervention of repainting, like what Encik Syaril mentioned, the plastering work, the oversized signage, and the frieze, and also the hanging cover at the heritage significance of the facade, so that to prevent them from cover up the heritage significance of the facade, and also the new extension renovation, like the additional of the stories, all those things. So I also very agree with Dr. Jackie's point of view that he mentioned about intangible part of for the archive. So when we talk about tangible heritage, right? Tangible cultural heritage, we always come together with this intangible. So cultural and heritage does not end at this monument and also collection of the objects. So it also should include the tradition or the living expression inherited from our ancestor and also passed to our descendants, such as like what we know as the oral tradition, the performing arts, the social practices, the ritual, the festive events, the knowledge, and also practices concern nature and universe, and also the community-based and the knowledge skills that to produce such a traditional craft. So again, for Zone 4, right, I was much interested in Kampung Kuchai, which is known as the earliest Malay settlement in Ipoh. So at there, maybe students can further do some measure drawing on the Malay traditional Perak house there, Makutai, the shop house, and also some of the Malay townhouse, To Puan Saripa at this Jalan Palo. Student can further try to study and measure drawing at the kampung lah. And also many thanks to MBI. If not mistaken, they gazetted this special event. And also the significant language and also character mixture between this traditional Malay house style and British colonial style, and also with the influence of Chinese culture in this zone is very special for this Zone 4 lah. So yep. And also as we can see, there's also some sort of intervention, like demolition of certain type of Malay townhouse, and also Ipoh Youth Club, and also with some illegal build of Bengkel vehicle shop workshop, as we can see in this Kampung Kuchai Lama. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Ong, for the insight. I believe Architect Ong has pointed out several important points on the importance of preserving the Kampung Kuchai Lama. Hopefully, with the input from Architect Ong, can help MBI to further develop the plans on preserving and maintaining the original of Kampung Kuchai Lama. Ladies and gentlemen, every journey has its end, and for the past 2 weeks, participants of Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Students Workshop 2021 has captured splendid photographic images and gathered information of heritage buildings in 4 dedicated zones throughout Ipoh. Research and studies were done using numerous methods to collect and record information of selected buildings in each zones. With the guidance of reputable mentors, they managed to develop photographic documentation of architectural heritage in Ipoh for future references and conservation purposes. Not only a detailed inventory is produced, the workshop has managed to achieve its intention, which to create awareness among students and younger generations on the importance of recording architectural heritage. Dear audience, without further ado, I would like to invite and welcome Yang Berbahagia, Datuk Arkitek Azumi Harzani Ismail, Presiden Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia, to deliver his closing speech. With all due respect, please welcome Yang Berbahagia, Datuk Arkitek Azumi Harzani Ismail.
Terima kasih Cik Muhammad Yusri Yunuh. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all members, to all colleagues, and lecturers, student, organizing committee for this program. First of all, I would like to thank all the participants for participating in this program, and of course, the chairman of PAM, Heritage and Conservation Committee, Architect Stephen Tang, Architect Dr. Haji Zuhairi Mat Zain, as the co-chairman of the PAM Heritage and Conservation Committee, and Cik Muhammad Azmi Zulkifli, Head of Civil Engineering Department of Polytechnic Ukhul, and many other friends, including Puan Ati Rosemary, Muhammad Arifin. I see also Architect Zalina Aziz, and of course, a lot of support from the universities, lecturers, and tutors, and also students. I wish to thank all these participants and organizing committee for making this program a successful program. I would like to see a PAM PUO Ipoh program, the Architecture Heritage Inventory Student Workshop 2021 program, which was held from 5th to 19th of November 2021, as a new beginning for us in our effort to record more of our heritage building, and to add more record in our collection of the information and data on our own heritage and culture. This is the beginning of another chapter of our efforts in collecting the data and records of our own heritage. As I was informed that the purpose of this workshop, actually it's very important to create awareness among students of the importance of recording architecture heritage through detailed inventory. This inventory will develop photographic documentation of architecture heritage in Ipoh for future reference and conservation purposes. Although that we are unable to physically be present to celebrate the success of this program, but through this virtual event, it is very important in driving our effort to achieve more in conserving our heritage and culture. Although that I wish that we are all able to be physically present at PAM Center today, but due to the pandemic and due to certain restriction, I think we have to bear with the situation today. And of course, with the technology that we have, we still can implement this, we still can carry out this program virtually. And I must thank some of them who are already at PAM Center today, participating in this program. I also hope that this program will soon be replicated with participation from more institutions of higher learning to cover more areas, including city like Penang, Seremban, Port Dickson, Kuala Terengganu, Alor, Kota Baru, Kelang, Kuching, even Kota Kinabalu. I think some old cities like Beaufort in Sabah, even Jesselton city, there's a lot of significant heritage building. Some of these places that I have mentioned just now may have the information recorded in the archive, but there are still many more that need to be recorded. So I believe that what we have done for the past few days is very significant. And this is something that maybe other institutions can also collaborate with us, with PAM, maybe through the chapter as well, so that we can have more programs like this, so that we can update our record on this heritage building. I remember that Datuk Sri Utama Rais Yatim mentioned that a nation without cultural heritage is a nation with lacks of identity. So that's why it is very important for us to have a proper record of our heritage building and also a culture. Because sometimes, although that we record the heritage building, but the heritage building itself actually tells a story, how the building design, the spaces at that time influenced by the culture of that time. So this is very important for us in portraying our national identity and our own identity. And I think this also, the event today also will mark that the beginning of the exhibition from the collection and the work that has been done by the student, the participant, and we will launch the exhibition today. So I also wish to thank Architect Stephen Tang for arranging the exhibition together with all the organizing committee. Through the program, I noticed that a lot of workshop has been conducted, which is very informative, and I hope that the participants who have participated in this program will learn new things about conservation of our heritage. I can see that some of prominent architects has also participated in the workshop, and the architect like I know some of them, like architect Lam Shenfei. Lam Shenfei was selected to represent us in the Kazana program. Then I believe that what he has learned abroad can be shared, and through his experience in the conservation work, that sharing with the student and with the other lecturer will be very, very informative and very useful. And of course, there are many other speakers and many other facilitators and lecturers has also contributed sharing their knowledge in this program. So I truly hope that it won't stop today. I truly hope that the Heritage and Conservation Committee can collaborate more program and work together with other institutions so that we can implement more similar program through photographic documentation of architecture heritage in other cities, including some of the cities that I mentioned just now. And on behalf of PAM, I would like to thank again all the participants, supporters, especially the institution of higher learning, including the PUO as the host for this program, Polytechnic Oklahoma, and other participating university, including University Malaya, University Science Malaysia, University Putra, Utah, and also Dewan Bandaraya Ipoh for the collaboration and participation in this program. So with that, I hope that with the launching of the exhibition that will be done this afternoon, that will bring more people to come closer to the heritage that we are going to present, the heritage of Ipoh. There are many of buildings in Ipoh which is very valuable. Some of the buildings are not that familiar to us, but through this program, I hope that we will know Ipoh better, then we can love Ipoh better. So with that, I wish all the best for this exhibition and this program. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Back to Cik Yusri. Thank you.
Thank you Yang Berbahagia Datuk Arkitek Azumi Harzani Ismail for the speech. Ladies and gentlemen, next, I would like to invite and welcome Yang Berusaha, Technologist Haji Muhammad Faisal bin Harun, Director Polytechnic Ungku Omar, to deliver his closing speech. With all due respect, please welcome Yang Berusaha, Technologist Haji Muhammad Faisal bin Harun.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berbahagia Datuk Arkitek Izumi Harzani Ismail, Presiden Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia, Yang berusaha Arkitek Stephen Tang Bun An, Chairman PAM Heritage dan Conservation Committee, Yang berusaha Datin Dr. Nur Hayati Hussein, PAM PUO Ipoh Architecture Heritage Inventory Student Workshop Project Leader, Yang berusaha Puan Ati Rosemary, Muhammad Arifin, PAM PO Ipoh Architecture Heritage Inventory Student Workshop Project Coordinator, distinguished mentors, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillah, first and foremost, I'm most grateful to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the most gracious and merciful, for His blessing in allowing us to gather here today at the closing ceremony of Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia Polytechnic Koma Architect Heritage Inventory Student Workshop 2021. On behalf of Polytechnic Koma, I would like to express my utmost gratitude and appreciation to all committee members to ensure this event success, which was held in city of Ipoh from 5th of November until 19th November 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, Ipoh popularity as international tourism destination has been significantly boosted by the effort to conserve in British colonial era architect. The awareness of conserve Ipoh heritage is increasingly due to its rich mix of a colonial era heritage building comparable with the Straits settlement of Penang, Malacca and Singapore. Heritage building is one of the urban character for the city and should be very much protected, not only because of the value and the story, but also due to the diversified living culture and environment. The public is now starting to aware of the value of heritage building as a limited resources that form a part of the urban scenery and tourism landmark and attraction. Thus, a generation initiative should be introduced to restore the wealth of the prestige past of the historic cities and to improve the lifestyle of its population. As the vibrancy of heritage sites is only significant when its original committee remains. Polytechnic Koma, through the architecture program, has also managed to make an effort in measuring, recording and documenting historical building around Ipoh town. Indeed, PAM PO Ipoh Architecture Heritage Inventory Student Workshop 2021 has significant event to us in Polytechnic Koma, has an effort to create more awareness among architecture students about the importance of recording architectural heritage through the architectural photography. It signifies our collaboration with other professional bodies to support the conservation of works of heritage building. We are particularly very honored at this initiative aligned with our vision and mission to be a leader in Tibet education. Students have learned to appreciate the architectural detailing and element commonly found in the heritage building by taking architectural photos through this workshop. I hope this effort will be beneficial for future reference and conservation purposes. I do not wish to take this event time over a long period of speech, but allow me to express my gratitude once again to the Pertubuhan Architect Malaysia for the generous sponsorship to make this event successful. We are delighted to collaborate again soon. Last but not least, it is my wish that this program will be continued in other historic cities to spread awareness among the youngsters about the importance of recording architectural heritage for future generation. With that, I would like to thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Berusaha Haji Muhammad Faisal bin Harun, for the speech. Dear audience, I would like to continue today's ceremony with a certificate giving session to the participants of Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Student Workshop. Please welcome Yang Berusaha Technologist Haji Muhammad Faisal bin Harun to deliver the certificates to the participants' representatives Muhammad Haziq Akmal and Anis Elia binti Badrul Hisham. Once again, thank you very much to Yang Berusaha Technologist Haji Muhammad Faisal bin Harun. To continue the event, I would like to invite and welcome Yang Berusaha Puan A.T. Rosemary Muhammad Arifin, Project Coordinator, Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Student Workshop 2021, to deliver her concluding remarks. Please welcome Puan A.T. Rosemary Muhammad Arifin.
Thank you very much, MC of the day, Encik Muhammad Yusri Yunus. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I've seen such remarkable achievements by mentees over the past 2 weeks of the workshop. I see the interest, curiosity to learn about Ipoh and its built heritage. Over the past 14 days, many students from Polytechnic Engku Umar, University Putra Malaysia, University Tengku Abdul Rahman, UTAR, and mentors have dedicated their time, energy, and shared their knowledge to reach this milestone. Architecture heritage programs can increase the effectiveness of town, city heritage management with links to local heritage legislation, built upon data standards, maintained dedicated personnel, set of activities, and good archival system. As what this program, organized by PAM Heritage Committee, is striving to achieve. Documentation of built heritage allows appreciation of the overall significance and importance of a place in the sense that they provide meaning, understanding, definition, recognition of cultural significance and values, which is the ultimate aim of the architectural conservation. Whilst this does not mean that all buildings can, should, or will be conserved, ignorance of historical architectural significance often lead to permanent loss of historic places. Built heritage created by immense architectural, historical, and cultural values and constitute one of the most dominant characteristics that contributes significantly to the identity of place. Ipoh, as one of the Malaysia's prominent city, has unique characteristics which is significantly contribute to its distinctness and identity. In the midst of urban development and social economic changes, built environment, especially the built heritage, are often faced with constant threats: demolition, encroachment, refurbishment, abandonment, and dilapidations. In this preliminary workshop stage, relatively large number of historic buildings with varied architectural styles, typology was identified through Heritage Place Inventory, reflects the historical richness of Ipoh. I like to apply the importance of recognitions of historical buildings. Being an architect and educator myself, I believe the education of architects must encompass the architectural heritage studies. Sharing and passing down this knowledge and passion with the young ones is very important. I hope from this point forward, efforts made by PAM HCC, PUO, or other institutions and stakeholders in these coming years will build up deep passion and further efforts. Give it a sense of community, not just a short-lived exercise or collections of photographs. I really wish together we'll be able to accomplish these goals. So we have reached to the ultimate milestones for this event. I'd like to thank you all the people who is involved from the beginning of the program, whom without them will not be possible. If I missed anyone, please forgive me. Please know that your contributions and involvements for this national effort are highly appreciated. First of all, this workshop and exhibition are accumulation of efforts by many people who have worked, even not just for 2 weeks, but for the past 5 months, and so building up momentums towards what we will witness today downstairs and also Pamer website. Big thanks to Dato A.R. Zulkhairi Muhammad Zain, Co-Chairman PAM Heritage and Conservation Committee, A.R. Stephen Tang, Chairman PAM Heritage and Conservation Committee, Dato Arkitek Izumi Harzani Ismail, President Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia, Mr. Muhammad Azmi Zulkifli, Head of Department, Civil Engineering Department, Polytechnic Engku Omar, T.S. Haji Muhammad Fisal Harun, Director, Polytechnic Engku Omar, Datin Dr. Nur Hayati Hussein, Project Leader, PAM PUO Architecture Heritage Inventory 2021. Thank you to the hardworking team from PAM and the hardworking committee derived from practicing architects, designers, academics, as well as postgraduate students. To all reviewers, 3 speakers that we had along this entire 3 weeks, and our media partner, Garis Pixel. This year's workshop has focused on 4 main zones, namely Zone Puhun Ipoh, Zone 2, Kita River, Zone 3, Tin City, Zone 4, Heritage Trail. Each zone inventory group was formed by mentors, mentees, and dedicated liaison officers as mentioned in the slides. Huge thank you to the awesome mentees who's made up by Polytechnic Engku Omar students, UTAR students, and UPM students. All of your contributions will be a national treasure, and PAM, as the knowledge manager, I am sure will give their very best to make available the data for the benefits of not only architects and architectural students, researchers, but also general public at large. Apart from the Architectural Heritage Inventory Workshop, which was held from the 5th to the 19th November 2021, a physical exhibition at the PAM Center from the 19th till mid-December 2021 will take place. This collection of architectural heritage inventory exhibition aims to highlight some of the noteworthy built heritage in Ipoh will be made available digitally on pamer.com. Critical attributions of any successful online heritage database are the accessibility of readily available operating platform, intuitive search methods, and easily manageable data downloads. These are amongst the features available at PAM-ER, which have started a year ago and will continue to improve. This online record hopes to not just record heritage buildings, but spur discussion among heritage professionals about increasing the necessity of heritage programs in Malaysian cities, creating built heritage awareness across all generations and planning strategic heritage tourism with different partners. Before I close, I would like to say, believe in your efforts. You have recorded, if the buildings you have recorded can talk, they would say, you guys are awesome. Thanks for remembering and acknowledging me. That's what the building will say. You know, the oldest building in the list of our inventory this year in Ipoh belongs to the former Buddhist Sichi Society, constructed in 1841, has survived for 180 years. So I hope with the efforts that we are doing now, beautiful buildings like this can last at least another 800 years more. So thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Puan Ati.
Yes, thank you, MC. Before we adjourn for the ribbon cutting ceremony, I'd like to take this opportunity to also thank Majlis Perbandaran Ipoh and their members who have also contributed to this program. And I'm sure they will be our strategic partner in the near future, along with PUO. And now we will adjourn to the exhibition hall. Thank you.
Thank you, Puan Ati, for the remarks. May what have been conveyed benefits us all. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the next event, so let us enjoy a video of the virtual exhibition prepared for today. So please make room for the video. Now we have come to the main event of our ceremony. Hence, with great pleasure, I would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Datuk Arkitek Azumi Harzani Ismail, Yang Berusaha Arkitek Steven Tang Bun An, and Yang Berusaha Datuk Arkitek Zuhairi Muhammad Zain to the breakout space ground floor level of PAM building to officiate the launching of Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Students Workshop 2021 exhibition. Okay. The next program is a photo session with the invited guests, all the committee members and the participants. We would like to request everyone switch on their cameras for this photo session.
Alright. Okay, semua orang boleh. Okay, semua orang boleh get ready in front of the camera. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. Lagi 1, 2, 3. Kejap. Okay, alright. Again lagi 1, 2, 3. Lagi 1, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Alright, thank. Alright, kejap kita nak minta everyone on set buka mask pula. Alright, stay in front of the camera. Alright, get ready. 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. One more, 1, 2, 3. See, I did not adjust. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yusri, boleh closing?
Okay, let's conclude our event for today. Before we adjourn, on behalf of all the committee, I would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to all parties involved in the making of the Ipoh Pam PO Architectural Heritage Inventory Students Workshop 2021, a smooth and successful event for the last 2 weeks. We are looking forward for the continuation of this event for other major towns and cities throughout Malaysia and pray for the success of the program in the future. Until then, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and thank you to all.